Good morning, it's Tuesday, October 21st, 2025, and we're going to call the Idlewise Board of Commissioners meeting to order at 9 a.m. The first thing we'll do is make a motion to discuss and approve the agenda. Make that motion.
Second.
Discussion. Do we need to talk about anything in non-public session today?
I think you mentioned something. Not public. I don't know if you wanted to talk about SCADA again in response and.
Need for a non-public.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Very
so,
good.
because
Okay.
I saw that
So we'll have a
email.
non-public
Yeah.
session.
Yeah.
And,
Nothing.
do you need anything in non-public that could happen later in the day?
No, I mean, I think I'm okay today.
Okay,
Yeah.
because we could recess and.
Are you,
Catch up
well,
with
you
it.
want to do that this afternoon? Yeah, we could do that then, I
if-
could do
If
that.
that works.
I can do that.
Yeah, okay, if that's when you were
So-
gonna do, I didn't know if you were gonna do the non-public after.
No, we won't hold you here.
Yeah.
We'll-
Okay.
We'll meet this afternoon. Can you meet this afternoon with him?
Yeah.
Or directly after this meeting?
Yeah, directly after this meeting would be better, yeah.
Can we call you?
Yeah, give me a shout and see
And
where I'm at
we-
with that point,
Where should we
after you
meet him?
guys finish up.
Yeah, okay, give you a call and tell you where to meet us.
Okay.
So the intent is to recess the non-public at the office.
Or at the garage.
Oh, garage.
Yeah,
Okay.
garage?
Or the side of the street, wherever we find Jeff.
Wherever you wanna go. Somewhere in Idlewise.
To be decided.
Like I said, we're gonna talk about SCADA and some other things, right? So-
Yeah.
After this
Yeah.
meeting, yeah.
Oh, okay,
After the
okay,
public.
okay,
Then
so then we're having
we'll
a
continue it.
follow-up, gotcha,
Yeah,
okay.
We'll
Yeah.
continue
Alright,
it with
fine,
him
fine.
to
Mhm.
discuss what
Okay.
he needs to talk about.
Okay.
With that modification, how do you vote on approving this agenda?
Aye.
Aye,
3-0 on the agenda. Next, we move to the approving the minutes of the 15th of this month. I'll make a motion to discuss and approve those minutes.
Second.
Discussion.
I can't vote on this, but I did
Oh,
review
yeah,
them.
Of course you can.
No, I wasn't here last week,
Okay.
I wasn't here at this meeting, but I did find one spelling error.
So did
Yes.
I.
Which one? Under Nancy
I
Cole?
forget.
In Nancy Cole's report, first bullet, confidence is spelled wrong. He said
Thank you.
confidence.
Yeah.
And
Sounds presidential.
Oh, come on.
on the first page, I got that. I don't know. One of the times where it says Chadwick Barofs.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It
that's spelled-
seems like it's spelled wrong.
Yes,
But I
the final
can't.
one. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Is it
name
Skadwich?
Chadwick?
Is it?
Yeah.
Does it end with a K or an H? I don't know. I think it's with a
K.
K, isn't it?
It was with a K,
So-
yeah.
Yeah. So the very end of the bullet, 3. It's right.
Yep,
It's,
that's the one that I
Yep,
found.
yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, great.
yep. Good catch.
All right, great.
Little spelling,
That was all I had.
Spelling nits. Yep.
Yep.
How do you vote to approve the minutes with those modifications?
Aye.
I have to abstain. I wasn't at that meeting.
2-0-1.
2-0. Thank you.
Now at 9:03, we move to the first manifest for operations, and that has a dollar value of $3,555.16. I'll make a motion to discuss and approve this manifest.
Second.
Discussion.
So I did include a reprint of a check that that unfortunately got destroyed on the manifest of the September 30th.
So we mailed the check and the post office mangled it
Yeah,
and sent it back to us?
yeah.
And does the vendor know that we're
Yeah, they sent,
reissuing?
yep, they do. So you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
I was
And that's in
originally
this
gonna have him
manifest?
pick it up, but
How do you handle that?
I reprinted it, but I'm gonna include it, so I just wanted to mention it,
So it's not in this manifest because we already approved the dollar
on
amount?
September 30th.
Right.
So we're just, we're gonna sign the check, the
I
new
voided
check,
the
and then
check
we're
and,
signing the new check today.
Correct.
Against the previous manifest.
that's right.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I didn't know if you wanted to release the Chadwick Bay Ross that we held last meeting.
So did you follow this?
Was that the one that was missing a page on the bill?
Yes.
Well, more
Yes.
than that, it's, we're hoping the second page clarified the way that they were billing us. To follow the story, we contacted, you contacted Chadwick Bay Ross because we saw there may be a problem with the battery cables getting cut against the body of the grader. And they said that they would come by when they were in the area, is that?
Yes.
That's a little bit of a key issue there.
Mhm.
So it wasn't like the grader was disabled and we could wait until they happened to come by, and they did come by.
Yes.
We got a bill to say that it was over $1,200 for them to cut a fire hose evidently that they had with them. They didn't charge for any parts. Move the battery box so they can get at this thing, slice the piece of hose, put it around the two battery cables, tie wrap it,
Mm-hmm. I remember the pictures, yep, so I can see the,
$1,200. No breakdown, all labor, no mention of how much time,
Mhm.
just $1,200. This is a trend I'm seeing
Mm-hmm.
with our vendors. I think we're not the only ones. I'm hearing that Ossipee is experiencing the same thing. Gonna talk to Madison about this.
Wow.
So typically we would see a charge for mobilization to drive up here, but that wasn't the deal. We weren't calling them to come, and it said inspect and put this on the cable. Well, I first read that. There's one word. I didn't expect them to do this blindfolded, so they would have to be looking at it. But Jeff pointed out in the conversation is the guy that came says he's required to inspect the whole vehicle. Well,
What?
that might be a great service, but I think you get to decide whether you're paying for that or not.
yes.
They're telling us if we happen to let them come at their convenience when they're in the area, we're gonna see a charge for unknown amount of dollars to inspect the vehicle.
Uh-huh.
And is the benefit to us is they may see something that's going wrong. Benefit to them is they're finding work. So I think we have to agree to that, to get charged for it. And then the story goes that you tried to get them to
Give me a
just send
breakdown.
the second page,
Yeah.
and hope that the second page had the breakdown.
Yes.
And you wrote that you got the runaround on the telephone,
Correct.
and we got a second page that didn't shed any more light on
Mhm.
the
None.
invoice. So, $1,200 to wrap. I would have paid them $600 to buy a fire hose and do it themselves at this rate.
Yeah.
So,
So where do we stand? We have not paid them yet on this, we're still looking for clarification?
we got the second page that didn't say anything.
Right.
Didn't
They-
shed any
they
more
throw
info.
out a
Didn't
number
break
at
down
me.
why it was they were charging us $1,250
Yeah.
something bucks to put a sheath around two cables.
So what'd the first page say? It just was a flat
Quantity
charge
one.
and that's it?
Description, inspect, and put the sheathing around the battery cables.
Right.
No number of hours worked, no fee for coming on site to do it. This description, quantity one,
Just a
$1,250.
flat for, no, okay. Jeff, do you know approximately how long they were there working on it?
Yeah, they were probably here an hour. I mean, you know.
An hour, and how long does it take to drive from Chadwick Bay Ross? Hour and a half?
We didn't arrange for that. We arranged for them to come by when they were already paid to go somewhere else, is my understanding.
He told me when he had a guy in the area, he would swing by and take a look at it.
So we didn't have a hard date, we weren't telling them we were down and out of luck with this thing until they came and got it fixed. We didn't agree to an inspection, and I think we were led to believe there would be no charge because he was coming by.
Yeah, the problem was that was just a verbal agreement over the phone, right?
Yeah,
We need to keep, this stuff has to be backed up by email so we have a paper trail.
This
Because
is-
I'm sure that guy was gonna do it, but somebody in his head office or something like that said, no, you gotta do it this way.
and we're gonna bill our customers with invoices that they can't decipher.
Yeah.
Just pay it or what?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so do we challenge the fact that we were told that there was not gonna be any transportation charge. This was work that was gonna be done when a serviceman was in the area. So that all we expected to pay was for the actual, parts and labor when he was here working on it. And you obviously know the name of the person who you spoke to, you probably have a record of the date.
Yeah. Yeah, I spoke with the guy up at the Lancaster office.
Okay. So why don't we go back to him and say on.
I spoke to people in both offices.
So did I.
What's that?
So did
Look
I.
at the amount of
Right.
time it takes us to
Yeah,
deal
Right.
with.
Nobody wants to take
But the key is that there's a miscommunication here, or there's a deliberate attempt to just ignore that communication. So maybe we just need to challenge it, go back and say, on this date, DPW, VDOE, DPW, Jeff Martino spoke to whoever, saying, agreeing that a serviceman would visit to take care of this problem when he was in the area, not a specific call to come right now, or on a specific date where we would expect a transportation charge.
Well, I would
But then they
expect-
could come back.
I would expect something.
Yeah.
At some point, you know what I mean? But like, but here's the issue. If the guy's here an hour, and I'm only throwing a figure out of the air because it's a roundabout figure, but I think it's somewhat close, but I don't know for sure. They're $200, $250 an hour.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it's like
So-
240, yeah.
If they're here an hour, $250 an hour for that. And if there's a transportation charge, I can't imagine a transportation charge is $1,000.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's-
That's my point. So if there's a transportation charge, what's that? $400 or $600? Either way, it's not $1,000 for the guy to get here. You know, the travel time. Oh, look, let's say they get, again, I don't know exactly, but it's $200 an hour travel time. It's an hour to Lancaster, it's an hour back. There would be $400 in the travel time. I don't know where $1,200 came into play. That's my question. That would be what I'd question.
What do you think?
I think we need to go back and challenge them.
It would be nice to get some type of clarification of their charges. But I don't know if there's much that we can do about the bill we've already received. I don't know if they'll, well,
I think we need to
we
talk
can be
to.
hopeful, but I don't think they'll change it.
Well, we can try, and then the logical question is there any other companies besides this one that works on graders, or are they the only game in town and they have the monopoly?
Well, I found a company that sells Volvo parts. And Volvo is owned by the Chinese.
Mhm.
And
Swedish
they're in
company.
Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, well, that's not that far, 6 hours.
It's another place to sell Chinese grader parts out of Brooklyn, I think. So that's parts, and then I thought, can we contact all the other New Hampshire Volvo owners to find out where they get their service? I know one of our preferred contractors has Volvo equipment, and we can ask him. I think he tries to maintain as much of it as he can himself. Find out where that line is. In the meantime, there's not much we can do about it. Ultimately, we have to pay a bill.
Right.
I think our options are, we could pay it partially so that we don't appear to be trying to not pay a bill that we owe, because we do owe something.
Right.
Yes.
And we can make the point that we need to see itemized bills. So it's a matter of, do you want to make one more round with them and hold the check to communicate with them, or are you saying we're wasting our time, just pay the check?
I don't think we're wasting our time. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I'm
okay.
sorry if I'm cutting in. And I'm saying that because if we let them get away with this now, they're gonna do it again. We're gonna get a bill and it's not itemized and we don't know what the heck they're charging for. We gotta make,
And I always can fix the Volvo New Hampshire Chadwick Company for the entire state.
well, no.
No,
But maybe
we can't. And
But
we
we
can't
will.
change that.
But we will.
All right, let me ask another question, again, being.
Are you
naive
okay
here.
with us holding it another week
Oh,
and
yeah.
sending one more round of communication?
Yeah,
Bearing in mind that we hear what you're saying is, we're gonna end up.
yeah, we're gonna pay something.
land in
Well,
the free home.
That's not a question. That's not the
Yeah.
question. Do,
Okay, I say that, when we go to the office this afternoon, we draft a announcement of the meeting on the 25th, Saturday, for an email blast that will include the word Idlewise in the subject line.
Uh-huh.
An email
An
blast.
email blast to everyone?
Yeah.
Yes,
everybody's on
Okay.
the list, yeah.
we're gonna write that this afternoon. We'll also draft,
I'm sure, I'm not catching
we're
what the
gonna do
blast
two
is
things this
for.
afternoon. We're having a meeting this Saturday
Yes,
here.
okay.
That hasn't been blasted
Okay,
out.
so you're going off topic of
I'm
the
saying that
chat,
we're gonna
okay.
do two things this afternoon. We're gonna write that this afternoon.
Okay.
And we're gonna write the letter to
Chadwick
Chadwick
Barras.
Barras.
Okay,
Okay. That makes sense.
Do we have an account executive there? That's what I wanted to ask.
what?
Somebody who specifically handles our account.
Chadwick?
Yeah.
It depends on what location is handling the call, that's what I was told.
Okay.
No,
And-
the answer's no.
The answer's no.
Yes, and for this issue, I was told it was Lancaster.
Okay, so back to
The manifest.
the manifest. And that check isn't even on this manifest, and the question was,
Can
Are
we
we
release
sending it?
it?
We're not
Right.
yet.
Right,
Oh.
we're good.
okay. So now we're back to looking at this manifest and
Yes.
we bought gravel for Linden and Bristol Stock, and that was a $971. I put this into the FEMA spreadsheet, because these two roads are FEMA refundable roads that we're working on. I see another invoice that I looked at from our IT person,
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Yep.
this is, the only place that shows me what month we're talking about for this invoice is on the manifest,
correct.
not on the invoices.
It's the date on it, yeah. It's that upper date.
That's the date the invoice was written. That's not any invoice, all the invoices, even from Coleman. The
So
date,
in
the
the
date of the invoice.
description, so the descriptions, I think you would like her to include the month. in the
Yes.
description.
When was,
Yeah.
when was the service
No,
rendered?
I agree,
There's a column down the left side that
Yeah.
says date, it's
I-
empty.
yeah,
So,
Right.
I agree, and that's not gonna be a big deal for her.
Yeah, just,
okay, so the next one is, backhoe hoses and fittings. Is that for a blown hose, or is that for the project to get the blower working with it?
No, blown hoses.
That's, okay.
Okay.
We bought those,
Yes.
and we're bringing those with the backhoe to Albany?
No. No, while we were picking up the ledge, a couple of hoses broke that we needed to fix.
That's what I said, is it for modifying it for the blower, or is
No.
it fixing the blown hose?
It was just fixing a blown hose.
Yep.
So we haven't bought anything for the blower with this,
No.
okay? And Blue Def.
more
Legacy
blue diff. Yeah.
Yes, and we're gonna start really buying that stuff as winter approaches.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
The
getting
trucks
cold.
really suck that stuff down when they're working hard.
Culverts for Bristol Stock and
Bergdorf?
no,
Bristol
those
stock.
were purchased from Smithfield.
Smithfield, that's right.
And
that's
these are smaller culverts, these are 15-inch culverts.
We bought one 15-inch culvert and two 18-inch culverts.
And the Bergdorf culverts are we bought three 20-foot lengths of 24-inch culvert.
right.
Right,
So those ones you installed that you sent the pictures on?
Yes,
That look really nice.
thank you.
I gotta
Yeah,
go-
we
I
had to
gotta
do
go
a road we had to do that road culvert because there was a sinkhole that
That's the one up toward the dead end, or going toward the class 6 portion,
yeah, a little
right?
further down the road there that we had an issue with a year ago.
Last year, yeah, I remember visiting you and Tony.
And then
Okay.
we had to revisit that because as we were grading, finishing the road over there after the driveway culvert was installed, we had to take care of the road.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So that was
Kind of an emergency
$1,258
fix.
for culverts.
Mhm.
We spent reimbursing the state for fuel we use at their station, $405, and $80 for ADP to do payroll processing. And any discussion on any of this?
No, maybe.
What were just a quick question, under the Paris Farmers, what were the batteries? What kind of batteries were?
The laser, we have a transit that we set up to run our grades for the culverts and the needed batteries.
Okay. So there's just like regular D cells or
yeah.
alkaline type batteries?
Yep.
Okay.
So a motion is on the floor to approve 35, 55, and 16 cents. How do you
Second.
vote?
And,
No,
oh,
it's a vote. How do you vote?
aye.
Aye.
3-0 on this manifest. Now at 9:20, we move to a water manifest of $8,060.89. I'll make a motion to discuss and approve this manifest.
Second.
Discussion.
No, it made sense.
I think we should look at the invoices on this. And we should check it again. We should look at the work orders against the invoices
For Simply
as
Water.
good practice.
Okay.
Yes.
You're talking about Simply Water. Invoice?
Yes.
Okay.
So I saw an email questioning the, was it the sanitary visit to the Muddy Beach?
That was an inquiry that I sent you guys.
Right.
Right.
Because I don't recall, I mean, we've spoken to Michael Unger, I remember on a Zoom call, but I don't recall back in August that he was gonna did he personally come here to do the visit?
Most
With
likely.
Simply Water?
They physically come every 3 years,
Every 3 years, they do a sanitary survey and it's required through DES.
Okay.
and they don't tell us when they're gonna
And
do
they don't, nope, we have no idea.
Oh.
They just show up and do it.
Okay.
Is that
Well,
by
that's good
design
to
or
know,
oversight?
'cause
That
I
is
didn't
by
know
design.
that.
And they, to the point that in years past, I've asked for a copy of the report,
Yep, right.
and they wouldn't give it to me.
Right,
Who
Figure that out
wouldn't?
with a pub.
DES.
Oh, gotcha.
Can you invoke 91 AM then?
Well, that's always been my question.
Okay.
So it's not unusual to find out that the sanitary survey was done by New Hampshire DES. It's the first time I've known Unger to do it. It's always been,
Yeah.
uh,
All right, I can understand the surprise visits, because, they're not trying to give us a heads up to cover stuff up, but not to release the after-action report. It just doesn't sit right.
we don't know whether Unger would hold it or not. It was always
Skorinka.
Skorinka.
Rick.
So anyway, that's what I know about that.
Yeah.
And so we're paying a monthly service. Every month we pay the water operator a flat fee of $93,933.01. Did you notice that there's a cash price? If you pay cash or pay by ACH, that drops down to $3,800.
Yeah.
So I think small and marked bills meet halfway between Bartlett and Satchel. Drop it off.
That's not uncommon for businesses to add a surcharge, because every business has to pay 2 to 3% on whatever the credit card charge is.
So this system is set up, I think, for their homeowner customers who pay by credit card.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now, has this always been there?
Nope.
This is the first time this is apparent.
Yep.
This is why it's good to look at these things.
Yeah.
So which one are you paying here? I
The
guess I
one
should.
by cash, because
Very good.
why would we pay?
Right.
Okay, so maybe that's just for their bookkeeping purposes, but we're paying the cash price versus the, well, they'll let us know if they're not happy with that.
So to walk around, to go to all of the facilities that Michael Unger wanted to see from the state, we paid Simply Water $455 to accompany them for 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Community service work order $29.25. There were 3 work orders that we paid. One we were going to pay $75 with the discounted rate. Another one is $225. And the work orders were for Lugano. And
That's 26, number 26.
another work orders for Lugano. And 11 Bergdorf and 42 Byrne. Do you follow what's happening at Lugano? Lugano's gonna have the asphalt with 2 open wounds this winter. I know we don't like that.
No.
I'm thinking that, would it help if we douse the gravel openings with calcium to stiffen it up? Rather than just have, there's no calcium on that gravel. Think about whether that would help for
Okay.
the winter. The same thing's gonna happen on Aspen. I've had paving contractors and none of them are signing up to do it. The one thing that the paving, now I'm into my commissioner's report, so let's stick with this one. So I'll get to that,
Okay.
back to that. I'm just bringing Lugano up because we're talking about Lugano here.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions on the water manifest? How do you vote on the water manifest?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0 on this water manifest. Now we'll go to the DPW report at 9:26.
So do we want to talk about that now?
Go to the roads.
Yeah.
The ones I was focusing on is the 6 FEMA sites.
Right.
Some of them are hard to figure out. We have to establish again, I might have to go with you to see, particularly on Aspen, where the Aspen work needs to be done is not clear to me. Even driving around with the paving contractors, that one. But the construction site on Aspen and Bergdorf, the Lugano construction site, we're gonna come back next year and deal with ledge that made that thing get set up the way that it is with a 3/4 inch line running
Yep.
down to the 8-inch main on Idlewild Drive.
Yep.
To properly connect that house straight to the 2-inch main that's right outside their house, but it's solid rock between the driveway
Wow.
and,
Yeah, we helped them out last week, backfilling that a little bit, so we hauled off the pavement and brought them some sand and some gravel to fill it all back in, and they were letting us know, showed us some pictures, it was, yeah.
we could rent a roller. I don't know if it makes sense to do any handwork with asphalt ourselves to patch these for the winter, whether we're faced with not having a contractor do it. We
Right.
did get a quote for Blendon, where the service line that was connected to a new house years ago,
Yeah,
you know, where the plows are catching on
yeah,
it.
the hump there.
You looked at a grinder and that seemed to be too expensive. Now it's not looking so expensive anymore.
Right.
Wow.
That's coming back as an option. I did have a contractor who's coming back to fix the driveway at a house walking distance down the hill. You know where I'm talking
Yeah.
about. There's another interesting one. We got a proposal to cut that whole patch job that the plows are catching on completely out, dig it down, get a gravel base for it, put 3 inches in, level with the road. $6,000. It's like, yow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that kind of went off my radar right away. Because if you remember, we did a patch on Idlewild Drive, probably 2.5 times the size, I think with that same company, just down below the mailboxes a few years ago. I think that was outrageous at $5,000. So we're getting used to these new world prices. So all of a sudden, grinding it doesn't look so out of line if we wanted to do something. Another contractor that proposed crack sealing the entire Blendon Road for us. Anything above 1/4 inch wide crack, of which there's a lot of that, in preparation for chip sealing it, which we did on Idlewild Drive in 2012, and it's still in that state. He thought doing an overlay over it would just get ripped off by the plows. So he didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then he didn't want to, he has a paving division, he has a crack sealing division. He was there to sell the crack sealing because they're available. And that was $17,000 to do the whole road.
Right.
So that's gonna go as a warrant article if you guys
Yeah.
see it that way, when we get to that point in the story. So, I don't think we're gonna have a contractor be doing any of this stuff.
Right.
And now we're back to what it is that you would need to do anything on this, or just live with it. If you wanna get the, grinder, and I think that was 500 for the day.
Yeah, it was, that figure somewhere around in that, yeah, there was you'd have to get the grinder plus the skid steer to run it with.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it was a combined, it might be like, yeah, 6, something. I forget it off the top, but 200, $375 for the machine, $250 for the grinder, the attachment or something, so I think it's over 500, but somewhere in that area.
We also can rent a roller from one of our preferred contractors. He said he would rent it, he would let us have his roller for $300 a day,
Yeah,
and he would transport it at no charge if we were gonna have it for a few days.
yeah.
I don't know if you wanna try rolling anything on that. So I guess what I'm telling you is that I've had a couple of contractors out looking at it, and I don't think we're gonna get any.
Right, no, I'm understanding where you're at with that, so I gotta talk it over and see if there's something that we can do,
Yes.
and see if we can't kinda get, I don't know, a couple tons at a time. I mean, like I said, you gotta work real fast with that stuff this time of year.
The beautiful thing is that we're not too far from
Right,
the factory.
to get it in and out.
Right.
Plant. Yeah.
Have everything all lined up.
And you don't have much more good weather.
Right.
The temperatures are dropping. I guess another frost is coming this weekend.
And if I had access, maybe if you'd allow it, if I, let's say, had Willie to drive, if I were to bring in another man, so we'd have 4 of us on there, if we were laying stuff out, say with the grader, a guy on the roll, a guy driving, and a guy running the rake. You know what I mean? Again, being time of the essence, if I was able to have Willie driving the truck, to kind of do it that way, to try to get these things done, if I could get that all lined up. If
You okay
guys
with this direction if they figure out what they wanna do?
be
Yeah, I
open to that.
don't think we have any other choice other than to almost do nothing, and I think we're better to do something than nothing.
There's a few weeks left with asphalt cutting it close.
Right.
Depending on what the temperature is that day.
Right.
Right, but
Soon the plant will close for the
But-
winter.
I would think that if Jeff can get it all set up,
If I could rig it up like
we
that.
should allow it. It's whether or not we wanna put a dollar amount on it, like a not to exceed.
Yeah, he can't come back waiting for next week for us to
Right.
approve anything.
Right.
That's
Right.
the point.
So,
So I'll make a motion that we,
Well, we're gonna see Jeff again this afternoon. Is there any way you can maybe scare together some prices, or do we just go with a
Well,
flat fee?
it kind of depends on, I don't really know right off the top of my head what the asphalt's going for a ton right now.
right,
You're
plus
getting
he also wants to talk to the other 2 guys and.
I gotta make sure we have everybody.
right,
Yeah,
Yuri's been getting some calls, having to run up to the observatory from time to time here the last couple of weeks, and I'm gonna assume that's gonna continue.
I'll make a motion that Jeff can contract with William Shepherd Senior over the next 3 weeks for work as he needs them, as Willie's available.
second,
aye.
How do you vote?
aye,
3-0 on that, so you can get
Okay.
Willie
I'll see what I can get lined up.
into November while the weather's good, whenever you need him.
4 of us are in there, I'll get, Bernie's probably pretty close to finishing up, I'm thinking. So once these guys pull out, we get the sites cleaned up and we can kind of get after it a little bit.
Bernie is not available to do any road work for us,
Right,
because this project is E.J. Prescott delayed him starting, and now he's delayed
right.
Oh, I
finishing this
see.
project up, so
Yeah.
he's gotta get to his next project too. I think they're
Gotcha.
even working somewhere else today.
Are we graveling that road and laying it out with the grader after they're finished, Bergdorf?
We can. Because Bergdorf is ditched, we could finalize that road if the timing's right for that. This is your planning details. So yes,
Because I mean, it's gonna need gravel, and I didn't know if that was part of their thing
no,
or.
their contract is to leave the roads smooth,
Right,
drivable, but not to restore the gravel, because that's part of the FEMA project. That's
Right.
why we ditched it first
Yeah,
and
yeah,
dug
okay.
test holes.
So yeah,
By the way-
that's gonna be a little time
We
consuming.
dug test holes, and where they had to cut the pavement, they cut the pavement to keep it just the width of the bucket where they were gonna dig. They hit rocks that were bigger than the cut they made in the pavement. To get the rock out of the ground, they had to take more pavement away.
Mm.
That's show business.
Right,
So, there's some choice rocks waiting to be measured, because we're gonna pay extra for those rocks, as the
That's
contract
good
goes
ones.
away. We can sell them again too, it's just, they have to negotiate the delivery charge quicker. So, you got Willie, I'll make a motion that you can hire a skid steer with a grinder for up to $650.
Second.
So that's just about one day.
Yeah,
Yeah, we wouldn't need the skid
They might
steer
need
with
it
the
for an hour.
grinder, we, you know, maybe we're a couple hours on, I don't think we'd need it a whole day. We're not gonna need it 2 days, that's for sure, you know?
This is to work
It's
on
just the
Aspen,
one
I'm just-
spot, that's,
No,
that's
this is-
blended.
Blended.
Oh, this is for Blinden,
Right.
okay.
So
just for blending.
when I bring the grinder back, the stump grinder, I'll firm up that price on what
Okay.
it is to get that.
So we're giving you $650, so you don't have to ask us for it again. If it's
Right.
only $650, you should let us know.
Yeah, no, I'll let you know exactly what it is, like I said, I bring that thing back and, I'll firm that price up.
So would you be using the skid steer for anything, other purpose other than the grinder?
No,
Okay, gotcha.
no, they could have it right attached on it and bring
Yeah.
it over and we'll grind that thing up, bring it, and have them come pick it up and bring it back.
That's just Blinden that needs
Yeah,
that.
that's just that.
Okay,
Yeah,
Then the pavement, you
Nowhere
know,
else.
those other spots, we'd have to haul pavement in,
yeah.
asphalt in.
That'd be
lay it
great
out.
if you got the gravel down on Linden. Cause I wanna talk about Hotwell. If we're okay, we all set with that part of it?
Yeah,
yeah,
So, Bernie can't do any more work, cause he's scheduled out.
I see.
But Stuart's working on trying to come back possibly and do Hotwell and around the corner
Yeah.
of Platts. And I know you guys wanted to put a new culvert in down at the far end of Hotwell.
yeah, there's a few spots maybe I think that need some culverts here and there, but,
2? Here's the thing.
yeah,
It may make sense to have Stewart put the culverts in, that as he's ditching the road, and then he could be involved, or we could have Black Dog involved, and or Willie with Blake Hill. We're getting a list of contractors that will come and work with us. They're all saying that these guys are good to work with. They're not shying away from working with our guys. One of the contractors, 2 of them feel okay with letting us use their equipment because they watched how these guys treat our equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. That's hats off to you guys. So what I'm thinking is if you can identify where you want the culverts,
yeah,
then I'm supposed to talk to Stuart this week and get a number that I'll be bringing to the board
okay,
for them to ditch all of Hotwell. Put the culverts in possibly, Platts, down to Burn, down to that first house. Or as much of that as
right,
makes sense. But it would be key would be knowing where those culverts go.
yeah. Okay,
By the way, Black Dog, we just paid his bill on the phone. He followed up with me. Contractor's calling you, believe it or not, there's one out there. And he said that. He said working with these guys was great. He has a 6-wheel truck, which we couldn't find anybody that had a 6-wheel truck. He said that he would rent us the truck. He doesn't mind having our guys drive it. If we want to hire him to drive the truck, he's in for that. He also mentioned that he has another machine, a smaller machine, that's a steel tread machine that has rubber feet on the steel tread, and he's got a tree mower to cut the branches back that are going into the road.
Ooh.
And
how do I speech? Is Black Dog is the guys who did the ledgehammer?
yes,
Yes.
Okay.
I went around and looked at that work.
yeah,
Thumbs up on that?
Oh, absolutely, that's part of the report here, I was
You
gonna
did a
give
great
out
job on that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
drove around looking at that.
That came out, and we got still a little fine tune some of the hand work on there to clean them up, and then we gotta come back with the grader and kinda sweep
The
things
most
up on
significant thing was
lace material, but
the S-turn, the solid granite wall that's on the right side as you're heading up. You saw it, you
Yeah.
saw it. Great job there.
Yep.
that was the hardest part, you know, having him on the pavement, on that turn,
Under
with
the wires.
wires and everything else, so I mean, it all came out great, he did an awesome job.
He blew a hose at the very end.
Yeah, he blew a couple. There was one on the one day, he blew one the first day. I think he, you know, but that's all part of doing business with them. Those machines are working hard.
That's the nature of hydraulics, but he was saying that it's gonna cost him over $1,000 to replace those hoses.
Yeah, well, you
And the
see
thing
what it
is-
cost us.
Right. Right, that's gonna be built into
The cost.
the way,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
so.
gotta be built into his cost.
You know, one we bumped the rock with and broke a hose on our, you know, our ditching bucket, and another one just blew just to blow. You know, one just let go all of a sudden. So,
Time to go.
you know,
Where did the ledge debris go?
we hauled it off to
Albany?
our site.
We didn't use any in the,
I've got
smooth
some.
culvert
I've
and-
got some that we had. I'm building two. We saved some. I mean, if we want to try to lay some into that ditch line, it's so irregular the pieces.
That's
You got pieces like this.
You
You got
couldn't
pieces
sort
like
it
this. You got
side
hand, fist
trying to get
size.
it off the road,
It's
so.
just it's
Okay.
to separate it, and you know, and we had to keep moving to stick. You know, he'd hammer a bunch of stuff for let's say 20 minutes, 45 minutes, and then we'd have to kind of clean it up, and he'd have to come back. You know, so he'd go hammer another spot and then have to come back because
Yeah.
maybe there was still a high spot. You know, so it was really hard to kind of
Yeah.
differentiate that
Yeah,
stuff.
okay,
And
so-
we did the
Gotta
best we
keep
could,
moving.
Right.
but we had to, you know, the short time window, and it all worked out perfect though.
So is ledge work completed now? Is that all we can do
That's for the
this
year.
For this
Right,
year.
for this year, and if,
We might have him come back and take the ledge out of the road on Lugano.
yeah, and we've got other spots too around
Next year.
Interlaken and Middle Shore.
We have the
you know.
winter to decide whether we want him to take all the ledge out of that entire road, because that road is getting broken up. You can see the spider shape cracking in the asphalt as these big boulders are getting forced up every winter.
Yeah,
And was it ledge or was it a big boulder that you saw when Simply Water excavated? Could you tell the difference?
they had it kind of backed already in there.
Yeah, I can see it.
They said ledge.
I don't know how much to spend on a road like Lugano, with the way that it appears to have lots of rock underneath it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big rocks.
Yeah.
To do it right would cost a lot of money.
Yeah, I was
Why?
gonna say to do it
Why?
right,
So
we'd
people
have
could-
to
People
pull
could travel on a
everything.
road that's like got an angle like this as fast as they possibly can.
Right.
So we'll talk about that during the winter,
Yeah.
maybe. The dam.
So the dam. So Tuesday. I believe it was Tuesday. Yep.
So a week ago today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We took the boards out. We took the 5-inch, the small cap board out, and we
Yep.
took a regular sized board out.
So a 5 and an 11 inch.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess I have to question that, because when I look at, we have to take a board out obviously for the winter drawdown.
Yeah,
Right.
But the question is, do we need to take out that much board, that amount of board, because of the drought? On October 5th, so just a little over 2 weeks ago, I took a photograph and the measurement stick was at 2.6. So for reference, the red line for the fire hydrant, that's at 2.8. Okay, I took a picture this morning, so now 2 weeks later, it's down to 2.1. So that's a drop of 6 inches in 2 weeks. And we're already way low because of the drought. So I guess, you know, I know we have to take a board out for winter drawdown, but do we really need to take out 17 inches?
If that's the normal amount that comes out for fall drawdown, then that's what comes out.
I'm gonna say there is no normal. I don't think it's specified in the ordinance, right? So,
Then you're gonna have to explain to me how the current level of the water matters when you're taking boards out for the winter.
Right.
All right, I'm just going, it says the fall pond level drawdown of either one 5-inch board or one 11-inch board, if necessary, shall be performed prior to October 15th. So the date is there, as recommended by the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services. So it's saying either or, a 5 or an 11. It's not saying both, according to the ordinance.
Then the ordinance has a little nonsensical nature there. It's gotta be, why would it be or? It's gotta be a constant drawdown level.
Right,
What, regardless of what the current level is, the exact same thing should be of boards. So, if you are saying that you don't want 2 boards out and are quoting this, I would say, would you agree that it would be the 11 that we had out of there and you want the 5 put back in?
Yeah, that
That's
would
what
make
I'd
sense
say.
to me. That would be insurance enough.
Now
to
explain
me.
to me why a drought would matter in this conversation at all.
correct.
That's nonsensical.
All right, I'm gonna go back to a point where it is,
Why are we taking the boards out?
Hold on. I made a point several meetings ago about the fact that if we wanted to repair that divot inside the dam spillway, that we would have to lower the water level, and I thought we could do that within the confines or the what are you gonna call it, the spirit of this ordinance. And you both said, nope, we gotta adhere right to the ordinance as it exists now. If we're gonna change it, we'll change it at the next annual meeting. Okay, so I'm gonna bring that up.
I don't see how you're tying it into this discussion.
I'm not, I'm saying it's strictly by the way the ordinance reads, we can do a 5
So
and
if
11.
we're
but we
agreeing
can't do
now
both.
that we're gonna take the 11 out as standard procedure, this says take a 5 or an 11 out.
Yeah.
That this board is agreeing that it's gonna be the 11 we take out, that is in compliance with those words.
If we take in,
And Jeff is agreeing with that, to put if the 5 is out now, we're putting the 5 back?
Yes.
Okay, so it's 11, this board takes an 11 out every fall. That's
Okay.
regardless of fixing the dam,
yeah,
that's regardless of the level of the water.
okay,
As a result of the
I'm
summer.
not questioning that. I'm perfectly good with the 11. But according to this, if we did take out, you said you took out the 5 and the 11 last week. By doing that, we violated the ordinance as it exists right now.
And we just fixed it.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we put the 5-inch board back in, and then that'll put us back in compliance with the ordinance.
And we voted that it's at his discretion and he's agreeing to put the 5 back in, so I
Right.
think it's gonna get done without the vote.
Right.
And we're confusing it by voting on something we said we don't vote on anymore.
But we're discussing it right now. So, yeah, if that happens, then we're,
So tell me why you brought up fixing the dam?
we brought it up saying that divot in there, which by the way this morning was not, there was no water flowing through it like a hose. I could see it was a little wet.
Oh no, there's water going through it. I mean, I wouldn't say it's.
It's a leak. It's a leak.
spitting
I looked at
out.
it very closely this morning, and yes, it's wet, but it's still below the water line, so it's not like shooting out like a garden hose. But anyway, never mind that. The point is that we brought up that we may need to repair that so it doesn't get any worse. And at the time, I thought we could still stay within the spirit of the ordinance by lowering the water levels to repair that, because ultimately we're preserving the dam for the future. And that's all. That's why that was brought up. several
And we
weeks ago.
proposed being able to drop the level down so we could do repairs on the dam. We weren't allowed to speak on it. The voters were led to vote against letting the ordinance allow us to fix the dam.
Right,
That was your interpretation. My interpretation was different, and that's neither here nor there. We ultimately decided we're not gonna do anything on that, and that we'll address that at the next annual meeting.
I guess what you're doing here is pointing at the language, saying we have to follow what the ordinance says. And then you talk about fixing the dam, and then you say we don't have to follow what the ordinance says.
No, you guys said we have to follow your opinion. your two's opinion was that we cannot lower the water levels to fix the dam because we would be violating the ordinance. Fine, okay, that's where we left off. Okay, all right, I disagreed with that, but that was my interpretation, not yours. But all I'm bringing up now is that we can't have both boards out if we're gonna stay in compliance with the ordinance. We have to have one or the other.
Oh, why stay in compliance? You just said you had a reason for not staying in compliance.
No, I had to agree
We
that we
want
had
to
to.
choose what it is, we do, and then we don't.
All right, we're going around in
Guilty?
circles here. We're going around in circles
5 to
here.
10 years. Take it away.
It
I'm
was
this
just,
close to saying off with your head.
okay, fine, off with my head, but I'm still gonna stand my ground that I thought if
I gotcha.
if the dam was imminently in danger,
Then the ordinance wouldn't
No.
mean nothing. You'd have to take all the boards out to drain it down far enough to fix the
Right,
hole.
but
You know what I mean? So that wouldn't happen.
who's gonna say you violated the ordinance because the dam, you saved the dam from collapsing?
Well, that's my point.
I'd say we got a guy writing us an email saying there was a drought and questioning why we're even following the ordinance doing the fall drawdown.
Yep,
That's essentially what he's
And
saying.
he was called an expert by someone
Right,
at that
and
meeting.
I'm not answering that. I'm saying that the ordinance says he does have say if necessary, but nevertheless, we're doing it, we think it's necessary because the winters can be heavy, we know that. So a board has to come out. I'm not arguing that at all. I'm only saying that it's one or the other, 5 or the 11, and
We resolved that.
with the 11, I'm good with that.
So you wanna finish your motion?
No, because
No,
we gave Jeff the authority to
All right.
remove the boards
Very
by
good.
October 15th. We're only clarifying that too many boards were removed. Let's put it back.
5 back in.
Yep.
All right. That covers everything with the dam?
Yep.
No
Sure.
plan on fixing the leak.
Correct.
And that still remains an issue that could be brought up on the warrant.
Yes.
could be.
So we'll have this discussion all over again later this winter. All right,
So
so
we're moved, we're doing the stumps, like I said, getting that done this week. So tires, I've,
new tires.
snow tires for the Dodges.
Right.
I've gotten some prices and it's crazy. I called 3 different places. I called that Pete's Tire Barn, and it didn't make sense for them to drive up here to put the tires on. So to drive the trucks down to Manchester and have the tires, we get our best price at $5,355. But that's driving 2 guys, 2 trucks down there. That's disposal, that's everything.
Yeah.
So I talked to Belknap Tire, and they gave me 2 different prices on 2 different tires, good rugged tires with studs and all. This is studded snow tires, and their price for one set of ones were Toyos, ones were Goodyears. So you're looking at $549 for the Goodyears, $561 for the Toyos. Now you got to multiply that by 12, to get, because we need 12 tires. So Frechette said that they could do it for around $500 a piece. So if it's 500, that's $6,000 for tires, which is going to be better than Belknap tires prices. I mean, around could be $490. It could
Where's
be
Belknap?
$520.
Where are they?
Belknap's over in Laconia.
And Frechette, you just gave the
Right. Well, no, I said 3 different prices. So I think we just, Frechette is who we got the snow tires from the last time. I think they were around that same type of price range a couple years ago. So we can't get the trucks inspected without them because these tires don't pass the inspection. So that's kind of what's holding me up. The 19 also needed, I think, some rear brakes. Alan said he fixed the windshield, but I haven't even gotten the 18 over there yet because I know that it's not going to pass with the tires. So
$6,000 for tires at Frechette.
yeah, like I said, he said around 500. I'm gonna.
What does that mean to you, around?
Well, I'm saying, like I said, 520 or 480.
So why is it that Pete's can give you an exact number and Belknap can give you an exact number?
I'm not
And
sure.
Frechette can't?
Right. I'll lock that in more with him as I tell him that we're gonna go. I'll see what it. I don't know if he was just busy that day and just kind of
Oh, yeah.
didn't quite give me the full math on it. You know what I mean? But I can't see around being 550, I mean, that's kinda, well, I can't speak for somebody
No.
else. But, so that's, I'll look into that a little, but that's kinda where we're at for the tire, so you're thinking, like I said, you're looking at a $6,000 price tag to.
So you wanna wait till next week to get a vote on purchasing the tires from Fichette?
Well, I'll give him another call here after I leave, and I'll let you know this afternoon, if he comes up with a better.
From
Well, then you're
from
waiting
price.
till next week unless we vote a not to exceed number now.
Well, you could possibly have the number when you come to the office today.
We can't vote on it unless we're in public session. I guess we wanna
Oh,
do
I
that?
gotcha.
You vote on things in non-public, don't you?
On non-public issues.
I see.
Right.
Well, do the not to exceed 6,000, and I'll see what I can get.
I'll make a motion that we
Okay.
authorize the DPW to buy $6,000 worth of snow tires from Fichette, 12 tires for $6,000, winter tires.
Mm-hmm.
Second.
Alright,
Aye.
3-0 on not to exceed 6,000.
And that's what I got.
Great. Anything else for Jeff?
no,
Unless you wanna talk about the invoice that I just got from United Egg and Turf, I guess that we had to order a hydraulic oil filter.
Correct.
Yeah, so the list price is here, but they're charging freight. And Jeff says it's because it's coming from another location,
Right.
and
I
So
called
this
down
is-
at
yeah.
Ossipee, and they said they had one over in Standish. And I don't know, I
yeah, so,
which I, you know.
So the part we're buying costs $108 for a hydraulic oil filter,
right,
and they want $25.59 to ship it here.
Well, they're shipping it they shipped it from one dealer to the other, and I still gotta go get it.
and you still gotta get it.
Why wouldn't they ship it here?
I don't know. I mean, when when I go down there to pick it up, I could
I don't want you to drive down there to pick
I
it up
want-
when they could ship it here.
Yeah,
I'd like to call them
Yeah.
and
We
ask
gotta,
them, yeah, see,
Yeah.
we're gonna fix United Ag for the rest of the state too.
yeah,
Well,
I mean, if I was under the impression I had to pay for them to ship it from one, not ship it, to get it
you
from
would
another
question
dealer,
why,
I would've
Let's
said,
buy
I'll
it
just
from
go to
some-
Standish and get it then.
Let's buy it from somebody that will ship it straight
Or why
right
wouldn't they
here.
just offer me to ship it here? I mean, I didn't,
I know, that's what I mean,
I'm-
it's happening a lot.
so you know, again,
yeah, it doesn't make sense to me that
Me neither.
They're whacking
charging
you a
us
shipping
for
price.
shipping when they're shipping it internally from one Napa to another.
Right,
They're all-
exactly.
They're all doing this because they get away with being this sloppy, overcharging the customer, conditioning the customer to just pay anything that comes across the
Right.
desk.
yeah,
And we could be replaced by a low-cost program that just writes checks.
Right,
So, this doesn't say they've already had it shipped. They're invoicing us in advance? Or they're telling you to come down and pick it up?
No, they have it. They called yesterday afternoon and said they have it now down there in Ossipee.
And did they let you know they didn't have it when you ordered it from them?
Yes,
And they told you it was gonna be a shipping charge?
they didn't say anything about a shipping charge. They
They
just
don't.
said,
They
we
usually-
have one over in Standish. And I said, well, when you gonna, you know, I mean, and then they said, we'll have it here Monday.
Then that means you have to call around and ask a John Deere dealer whether they have the pot, and if they don't have the pot, you don't order it from them. You find a dealer that has it and will ship it directly to you. This is the nature of John Deere, and I
Yeah.
described to you how
yeah,
the farming industry across the country now hates John Deere when they're
Yes.
in love with
Yeah.
them there for generations. So, I'm apt to say, cancel this order, and we'll find, you need this hydraulic filter
Yes.
but you'd still have to go and pick it up.
And we know what your dollar rate burden costs.
And
Our truck out of the village for that time. This is ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Pay the $25 and learn not to do this.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And his time and our truck and fuel to go down and get it and
Uh-huh.
back.
And
It's way
learn,
more than $25.
and learn not to do this, so that if they're gonna say ship it,
I guess
Say-
I tell them to ship it to
they
me.
don't
Say-
tell them.
they either gotta ship it directly to us, or we'll call the place that has it
Right,
and get them to ship it to us.
Right.
It's a ship it or shove it.
right. Yeah, I guess, you know, I just, like Nancy just said, you know, if I go into Napa and Redstone and I say, I need that Johnson rod, and they said, oh, we'll have to go get that from, Ossipee, they'll have it here this afternoon. They never whack you a
No,
shipping
no,
charge.
they don't.
Right,
You know what I mean? And then you go back and they have it there this afternoon.
I've
Right.
gone into Ossipee Aubuchon's and they went to Moltenboro to get what they didn't have.
Right.
Yeah.
They charged me
And
for
they
it.
didn't whack you the
So-
I never, you know,
You're gonna
when
pay
they
this
said something like
$25.
that,
You're gonna take our truck and our fuel and drive down and get it, drive back, and now it's part of your job not to do this, to
Well,
defend us
question.
Yeah.
to stop that from happening to us in
Yeah.
advance.
Like, first thing, do you
yeah,
have to
whenever,
put-
I guess when they say we gotta get it, I can say, well, you're gonna whack me a shipping charge for that?
So here it is that he's in conversations. Let's draw it back to the previous one with a tire company not being able to give you
firm price.
that you're having conversations with people, and that's leading to this stuff happening. Is like you need quotes in writing on everything to be contractually correct in the way we're doing this stuff, but it's not small amount of money anymore.
No,
It's
no.
$1,200 to put a sleeve on a cable. That's the taxpayers know what's happening to them in real time.
No, we don't even know what's happening in real time.
No.
We're learning as we go now, but
Each week we
need to
learn
be a
a
lot
new one.
more
Right.
diligent.
It seems everywhere.
yeah.
I think we need to keep a paper trail, no more verbal agreements to, you know.
That makes it hard on him.
I know it
Right.
does, but
All right, next.
That's what I got.
That's all I had for
So we're
that.
gonna pay the 25.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's gonna ride it.
Okay, very good.
All right, give me
Such
a shout
fun, huh?
after.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank
Jeff.
you.
Okay, so let me get my agenda back out. So at 10:03, we move to commissioners' reports, and let's talk about the master planning. Did you have a chance to look at this vision process?
yeah, briefly.
I'm finding it strange that the steering committee is having the people that work for the town or are in town committees do this kind of questionnaire. Particularly with the instructions say, think deeply. When was the last time somebody asked you to think deeply?
About town stuff, yeah. It's usually all reactionary, so.
And then I wonder, where does the results of this go?
Right,
This is not part of the master plan. This is like a psychoanalysis of the people that you're asking to volunteer.
yeah, well, I was looking right up at the front, and it's asking like, what do you hope to gain from this experience? Well,
Wish to atone for all my sins.
how does this, you know? I don't.
So, okay, so we're not gonna get much out of this to have as a discussion on Saturday.
Unfortunately, not much.
And what we're gonna discuss on Saturday is something similar to what's already in the 2002 master plan for a piece of the master plan, which is a zone. Because the basis of the master plan really applies to zoning and planning.
Yes.
And there's a zone within the Madison zoning called the Idlewild Residential District. Not to be confused with the Village District Zone, which is a part of Madison that is not Idlewild, that this town hall happens to sit in. It's an actual zone that they call the Village.
Oh,
and it's not a village district, a municipality like we are.
Right,
We happen to be a village district, but in the Madison zoning, we are the Idlewise residential zone.
zoned.
And we have ordinances that apply only to Idlewise in that.
Yeah,
And then there's the planning part. So Saturday, we hope to have a focus group of property owners from Idlewise that want to talk about the Idlewise residential district zoning, the Idlewise residential zone, and non-zoning issue planning for the future of Idlewise, which can be roads and tax rates and water system and beaches, parking,
Mm-hmm.
anything they want to talk about.
Yeah, and the prior one, is focused a lot on ditching and, road work. That is actually still still needed, and we're actually gotten a bunch of it done this year, and, plans to continue with it. But, so, we can start with that and move on to all kinds of, depending on what people wanna talk about, you know, what they wanna see. Do they wanna see, I would like to see the ditching continued, just because it's drainage.
well,
And if
especially,
you,
yeah.
the ultimate book on road is drainage.
But I gotta ask this, I mean, I think our mandate as a Board of Commissioners is obviously the highest priorities are water system and roads and ponds, I guess. There's a bunch of other discretionary type of items, secondary, which may be like parking and beaches, and maybe there's some other smaller stuff. I mean, isn't that would be more important to talk about those what I'm calling discretionary items, because we really have no choice. We have to make sure that the roads are maintained, that the water system is working. That's our job.
So is parks and recreation and street lighting and everything else the district does.
And I kind
It's
of
all
think,
part of our job.
I don't think we're leading the discussion group to the subjects we want. We're actually looking to hear from them what is
Right.
important to them.
Okay. then
And
we
they may hold the beaches up as the highest priority for them.
Right?
We need to find that out.
Right, we
You
need
don't
to
have to
hear,
agree with
hear from them, but, you know, if we're holding this meeting, we probably need to have, these are the areas we should be discussing today, and you choose which areas. I think we did that one time.
Yep.
We gave, in other words, they don't come in, they may come in cold, but at least we give them a little guidance at the beginning. These are the areas, start talking about whatever concerns you.
I think we spent 15 minutes and they didn't want that 15 minutes to count against them in
Right.
talking about the subjects they want to
Yes,
talk about.
yes,
Right.
Remember that?
yeah,
Yep.
I remember that, yep,
Yeah.
yep,
And I
So we
would,
can do that again.
yeah,
I would like to see us do the same thing.
right.
Where we give the people that are present the opportunity to name their subjects, and then we'll list how it's gonna move from there.
Okay,
If that makes, yeah. I think it worked well that time, to do it that way.
They seem to think it was okay.
Yeah,
So we have a plan. We kind of did it once and it worked, so we're doing it again. It's just that the subject areas can change in this one.
Yeah.
That was the budget.
the budget meeting, yeah.
Mhm.
And this is long past the budget for next year. This is for the next 10.
mm-hmm.
Right. Did you wanna restate when this meeting is gonna be
This
held?
is this coming Saturday, the 25th at 10 a.m. in this room, which is on the lower level of the town hall across from the police station. And we'll send that, we'll do an email blast
Yeah.
this afternoon. All set on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else do I have?
Mom, we know there's something.
I'm starting to make lists. You missed it last week. I had a list that went off forever. I talked about the Burnham Company trying to wrap up the project. I sent pictures out of what I believe is fantastic work, very difficult work. And there's details that I can't take any time telling you about, but
Yeah, I saw the picture, that was
what they were
impressive.
up against. I told you that I'm hoping to get a proposal from R.L. Heath and Sons to do ditching in the Howell area, and now we'll see if we can get culvert work. We need to see what the numbers are. And he's willing to rent us a roller for $300 a day, and he'll transport it if we use it for a number of days. I worked on the FEMA stuff. I talked to Jennifer about file names. The most recent invoice from Coleman had a file name that said Coleman.
The,
The one we just got for $900.
yeah,
The file name, you've been putting the dates of the invoice in the file name? And so, we need,
it just
doesn't have the
It
date.
just says
file.
Coleman, it has no
Right.
dates on it.
And that makes it really hard for me when I'm looking at a list of them. You know, I gotta get them in order, I gotta get them into the spreadsheet. So, if,
Well, wouldn't you have to look at like each portion too, cause there's all different dates for different portions that they're working on. Some are
I
pertaining.
have to go into the file,
Yeah,
but I have to find that file and know
I
which.
see,
I need, it makes it difficult to just say Coleman, and when, it's even worse when there were other examples of Coleman, 8/6,
That have nothing to do
2005,
with-
and then you start getting them where it just says Coleman, and that makes,
the PDFs are just gonna say Coleman. If I'm putting it in a manifest. But if you want me to rename it so you know what you're looking at,
You have given
if it
them with the
pertains.
dates in the name. Yes, it would be good, I guess I'm bringing up if we needed a motion to have standard file name conventions.
Well, then maybe we should do it for more than just Coleman's.
Yeah, that's what I'm
No,
getting
no,
at.
no,
Yeah.
every bill should have a date
There should be
associated with it.
conventions on standard file format names of things that we get every week, for
Well,
sure.
You need to tell me, because.
I am, right now.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm wondering, the reason I'm bringing it up is we've discussed it, but I don't know whether we need to hear another opinion on this and bring it to a vote. That's why I'm bringing it up now.
so are you actually extracting the PDFs and putting them in your own folder
I
for
have
FEMA?
folders
Yeah,
that I put them in, I open
You
up the
must.
folder and I have to get them in order
Yeah.
and then open them and then pull the detail off each part of the invoice
I
and put it
gotcha.
into 3 different parts of the FEMA spreadsheets.
Yeah.
And when you're doing that, it's like when I open up a time card and it's scanned upside down and it doesn't have the it just slows me down and just makes me not want to do it. So I'm just trying to make it, and what I'm thinking about this is, in the past, it wouldn't be me doing it. When we come into next year, it would be the administrator that would be doing it. So,
with DPW, she never did it on her own. She sat with DPW,
yeah,
the foreman at the time.
that's fine. I'm doing this because they didn't do it in
They didn't do
2023.
it. No.
Right.
So in 2024, I spent my time learning and answering all the questions for FEMA that went on forever. There's nobody that knows more about Idlewise than FEMA does. Idlewise never had the data that FEMA has on this website. They have pictures, they've walked the roads,
Yeah.
they made extensive notes, they have GPS coordinates on this. It's incredible. They're set up so that any future disasters, they're gonna reference this image that they took in 2023, 24.
Yeah.
So, I'm finally catching up. I have the spreadsheet filled in to this week, the most recent data. I'm thinking I'm gonna send this in, and if Heath does work, any work that's done, that's gonna be a separate request for a reimbursement, but I'm gonna try to freeze it this week. And I'm bringing it up because it may be you that's dealing with this next year, Because now I'm not trying to catch up for previous years, now it's as it's happening, which is gonna be easier if you're sitting down with Jeff every week. Cause Jeff's report on Appinville Way was unique, we didn't have anything like that for anything that was done back to the 2023 storm. So I'm trying to set this up so that it's easier for everybody going forward.
Yeah, but you need to tell how you wanna set it up. You need to explain
Yeah.
how that's gonna be set up.
I thought that's
So
what I'm
we
doing
can-
now. Am I not?
Well, yeah, but you're talking about, let's go back to the very simple one. We need to come up with a standardized convention of naming invoice files, right? So that,
All
when you
files.
bring, okay,
All
well,
files we get
okay,
each week, which is the time cards. All files we get, the time cards, the invoices, the manifests, they all have to have standard file conventions. And what the file convention is, doesn't have to be decided by me. Somebody has to decide what the standard file convention is and follow it.
and just stick to it, yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because apparently you guys never did it before.
Yes, we did.
Well, we did, but it went away in 2019.
Well, there you go, and I have no record.
Correct,
I have
correct, you
nothing
would
to fall
not.
back on, and
Correct.
so I'm following what was done.
Right,
Right.
Okay.
so what we're trying to do is fix this, and it happens in conversations like this.
So,
Okay, so I guess establish how,
so why don't we just go back, it worked from 2019 before, right? There was no,
So
We-
let me say the
weaknesses?
key for this is that searches on a PC
yes,
rely on you knowing the file convention. Because if one happens to be different than the other file names, the search may not find it.
correct.
So
We've been
that's
there.
why this, yes.
Yes.
And that really messes you up when you're doing these elaborate spreadsheets to find something that you thought wasn't there and then it comes up. Now you have to go back. And so when you're doing this, you'll see this.
I've been there myself looking for stuff when I first
Oh,
started.
without
So I guess what
doubt.
I'm saying is,
Not telling me anything I don't know.
Right.
okay,
So I would think if it included the date, it would help. So the vendor and the date, what else would we?
well, for example,
Date
I'm
first.
looking at this Chadwick Bay Ross invoice we were discussing earlier. The file name is just BP 3706. But it's from Chadwick Bay Ross and the invoice date is October 2nd, 2025. So how should that be, for our purposes, for our files, be renamed from BP 3706?
Well, that's not how you would have gotten it in the manifest.
I'm not worried about the manifest. I'm worried about the actual document being filed in your computer.
Yeah, but it
For
all
future.
starts with the manifest first.
Okay,
Right.
so, okay, yeah, I'm out of my depth here. I'm just saying, could this file not be renamed to like CB 100225?
You can name it however you want, I just need to know if you want the date first, and
no,
then, or you want the vendor date.
I would say vendor date.
Vendor name and then date.
you have Simply Water -OG 2025.
Yeah,
You have Smithfield Plumbing and Heating, no date. Napa, PDF, no date. Libby, October.
yeah, because I
20.
was never told that I needed to put dates until today. So I can move forward.
Right, that's all we're saying, is
Right.
going forward, this is what needs to be done. Don't
Right.
worry about what it was before.
And on the manifest itself, I usually try to give dates on the manifest itself. But if we're strictly looking where we can do a search,
All right, let me go into the manifest.
so vendor and date,
I guess Chadwick was the week before. That just said Chadwick Bay Ross.
correct,
So, vendor name, subject name,
yep,
time cards should have the 2 week ending dates. like last week you had time cards 9-29-10-10-25.
Mhm.
That's a consistent name. If it said time card, and we went over that, we had the discussion where
Prior,
sometimes it
yeah.
said payroll and sometimes, and you got all that. So, just following along with that is that it always says the same thing, like, doesn't say payroll, it says time cards.
Correct.
And sometimes it'll be at the spreadsheet for payroll, and that can.
You get both the spreadsheet and now you get time cards with it.
It used to be that the time cards were scanned into the same file, which I
Correct.
found pretty ugly,
As a PDF, yeah.
which is better to separate them,
You're right.
Yeah.
what you've been doing.
Yes.
That's better. The Eversource stuff needs to have the dates in them too.
Yeah. All vendors at this
Everything,
point should
yeah.
have go forward this way.
That would be great. And then we can tweak things as we see them,
Right.
but we're agreeing on a standard file
Yeah.
convention of the name of the company and the date.
Correct.
Subject to the
Yep.
standard subject name and then the dates.
Yep.
That doesn't require any vote by us. We're gonna.
No,
No.
no, that's just
No,
No.
it's very easy.
Okay.
quick fix.
Now, we're talking FEMA, so I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier that the spreadsheet I'm working on would have them refunding us in the area of $170,000 for 2025, the work they did in 2025. You saw the email from FEMA where they announced that they were obligated to send the state of New Hampshire $38,000 for Category Z management reimbursements.
Right.
I read the whole thing. They sent 4 files and a lengthy body of text with charts in the email. They referred to a reward fact sheet, which was not part of that massive email that they sent,
Right.
for further instructions on what I should be doing. There was a fact sheet in the previous notification of awards, but there wasn't one in this one. So I sent an email to Holly at the state of New Hampshire asking her, is there anything I'm supposed to do? And I think you saw that email? And
Yes.
she responded by saying, no, there's nothing to do. That's just telling you that FEMA is sending $38,000 to the state of New Hampshire. I think what she was saying is we won't see that until the end of all of the projects, which is August of 31st of next year. And then she made it sound like I'm submitting requests for reimbursements based on tracking this. And this all started with me saying,
I'm not tracking.
I'm not
this.
tracking any of this, I'm not intending on
It's
doing
so
a reimbursement
confusing.
request, so. I was thinking that maybe we need to have a video conference and you get to hear the answers to these questions. I wanna dig up the emails to FEMA where they're asking me whether I wanna apply for Category Z reimbursement, and I'm saying no. And then they're dropping it, saying, okay, well, then we're gonna do this. And now they're doing this, and now I'm hearing, like, that conversation never happened, and I'm going to be requesting reimbursement at the end of this.
Right.
It's like, wait a minute, I
Yeah.
always feel like I need to cover,
And then I thought I saw an email saying despite that a calculation of Category Z was done on their part, we were not eligible for it. Did I miss?
we're not eligible for payment, is what I read. in this
Yes.
recent-
Yes.
It was highlighted.
Yes, they highlighted it.
You're awarded this, but you're not eligible for payment, which made
So
me say,
confusing.
you know,
Then why are we doing this?
Right.
Yeah.
no, do I need to do something to be eligible for payment? And Holly's answer from the state was, no, you have to wait until your projects are completed,
Right.
and then you have to apply for
See, this is what I saw.
it,
Please note,
request it.
this award is not currently eligible for payment.
Right,
Please read the award notification fact sheet.
which had
for
me
additional
searching for an
information.
hour as to what they wanted me to do. Why, it sounded like they were awarding this to us, but they're not gonna pay it. Why not?
Right.
Well, because I need to request it, and they're gonna request all kinds of information as to why they should pay this, and I have to show them the emails where they started all this with me saying, I'm not doing this.
This is all circular. It's going-
Right.
Yes, and as one of the guys named Jackson for FEMA said when we were talking about the Grissom Culvert, he says, you're trapped. They got you,
Yeah.
they got you both ways on this, so.
Yes.
So I think a conference with Holly would straighten all this out. So I just didn't want you guys thinking that this $38,000 check is coming next week.
Well, as I recall, you said, yeah, we're not gonna put in for it because it was nickel and dimes as far as your time was involved. Then all of a sudden, they did the calculation, we were gonna get it, and then I saw this and saying, no, now you're not eligible for it. So it's like, what's going on here?
But this is an award announcement.
Right?
It's very deceiving.
Yeah.
Okay,
Public assistance award, but then it says not currently eligible.
Right.
for payment. Not eligible for it. We're not eligible for payment at this time.
Right.
Okay.
Now you know what it's like.
Oh, thanks.
So do you have a, time set up for a FEMA call?
No, I thought we had to have this discussion to see if everybody was in the same place on this.
I don't know if we're in the same place, but I think we're all curious as to what the real story is.
Right.
So, when do you want me to ask Holly to video conference with us? Maybe even Allison from FEMA. Allison
Maybe
Caldwell, I think.
after next week's meeting?
Next Tuesday possibly? Tuesday afternoon?
That'd be the 28th?
After the meeting?
Right.
Yeah, because we don't have Ian coming until the 4th, right? Or the 5th. So November 4th is election day, so I'm assuming we're gonna hold our commissioners meeting on Wednesday, the 5th?
Oh, did we hold it before? I don't think we did.
Well, currently it's November 4th. I don't know, I thought if it's election day,
It's not a
what have
day
we done in
off.
the past? Then, okay, then the 4th.
It's up to you guys.
I'm just bringing that up, that the 2 weeks from today is election day, but it's not a big election, so.
So should we keep it
Yeah,
for now? Okay.
yeah, it doesn't affect.
I don't see how.
But the FEMA video's on the 28th and we're gonna hold the meeting following week on the 5th. Is that right?
Correct.
4th.
Fourth.
On the 4th, yeah.
Okay, so now, let's see, one more thing. I sent a request to the chief of police with a picture of the black flatbed
Yep.
trailer that's been there for
Yes.
weeks,
Yeah,
for
the
several
remaining
weeks.
trailer, yep.
And I had a copy of the email that you sent on the 8th that showed both trailers.
Correct.
And it was already in violation on the 8th, and now it's the 21st, so we'll see if that trailer gets towed. I did talk to the chief a little bit this morning on the subject of finding a cylinder on the side of Little Shore Drive yesterday morning while walking Jake.
A cylinder.
What kind
A
of
cylinder, I picked it up and it was heavy. And it said on the side of it, 700 gold whip. And in small letters at the bottom, it said that it was nitrous oxide.
Laughing gas.
It's like it fell off a truck.
Talking to the chief, it's used as a recreational drug.
Oh my
Ew.
God.
Yeah, no, it is, they use,
They use whipped
it's
cream
laughing gas.
containers
Whipped cream, yep.
I
to,
didn't think they
to
knew.
pressurize a whipped cream
Oh,
canister, and
God.
they will inhale. They will press it where the whipped cream doesn't come out, just the gas comes out.
Yeah.
It gives them chief says it gives them an immediate high, very high, very short lasting, and untraceable minutes later. The police can't give them a test. He said they had a guy hit a house with a car.
While he was doing it?
He was on he had taken nitrous oxide, but
Oh my gosh.
it clears the system so quickly, it's not like you can give them a.
Right, you can't do a
Breathalyzer
test
test.
to
Yeah, I'm
say
sure
whether
he
or not
killed
they're
brain
on it.
cells.
No,
The chief suggests that an empty container is valuable to be recycled, they'll pay for it. So, and I guess the weight that I'm feeling isn't that it has any contents in it, because that's lighter than air, I guess.
Oh
The-
my.
The container is
Heavy.
The
substantial.
container itself is heavy.
I had never seen one before. I knew from hearing that restaurants have to lock up their whipped cream containers
Yes,
because
Yeah,
yeah, that's, the
I-
whipped cream thing's been around since we were kids.
yeah, they call them
You know?
whippets.
Whippets.
and that was
is
the
what
name
we
of the
used to
product
call
was
them.
Whip It.
Really?
Gold Whip It.
How big is
Huh.
this?
The container was like this big.
That's,
Oh my
that's an
goodness.
industrial type.
Yes. That, and it says on it, it's sold to catering companies to do fancy desserts. They must have some equipment to
Yeah.
hook it to.
But somebody got it
Whoa.
for their
But there's a
own
bigger
But
business, I
there's a
think.
big,
Yes.
oh,
black market
Oh my.
business.
So I didn't know about it, but now I do.
oh my.
And that's my report for this.
Okay, that's scary.
Be on the lookout for Whip It.
Yeah, right.
Anything?
No, I'm catching up.
Yep.
Okay.
No, actually, I don't have much. I was not able to get the, motion log done for yesterday. I'm gonna need some help with my computer.
No.
And we'll take it from there.
Okay. All right, so at 10:31, we have nothing to put on the water system. That will come up when the water operator comes to our meeting.
Yep.
No scheduled appearances. Nothing from the administrator.
Nope.
Any
Well,
questions
no.
for the administrator? We go to old business.
Mm-hmm.
Electric rate review, neighborhood energy.
Is it a big enough savings that we would wanna do that?
I'd like to throw it out to Larry and Alistair
Oh, that would be awesome.
and have them give their opinion to us on that.
Okay.
So I'll do that.
That's what I thought we decided last time. We sort of tabled it because we were
Yeah.
not really in favor of it, but we said it
Correct.
can't hurt to have an outside set of eyes look at it.
Right.
2025 profit and loss.
You gonna review?
Yeah, you wanna go through this?
Yeah, sure.
Usually have you lead.
I'm gonna give you my version, which I give you the variance analysis in percentage.
This is your printout?
Yes,
Should I give one to Jennifer?
yes, that's yours. I made one for everybody. It's just all I did was I add the variances so we can see what our percentage of actual to budget, where we stand. So the big thing is, I always like to just, let's go to the bottom line. Was on the operations and highway budget. For 2025, we had a budget of I'm rounding up by $1, $820,000 this is through October 15th, Jennifer?
Yes, correct.
Okay, October 15th, we have spent $551 and $551,718, which constitutes 67% of the total annual operating budget. And as of 10/15, the fiscal year completed is 87.5%. So when you take a look at the total budget, we're below where we might be on an annualized basis,
Which is good,
which is good.
because November and December can be very expensive months.
Yes.
They can be some of the most expensive months of the year.
So just a quick recap. All I went over was the fact that when you look at is that page 3? No, go to page 3. Sorry. That's what we've expended actual to budget, and this is where we are through the fiscal year.
Okay, I'm trying to understand why your actual is different than mine.
Shouldn't be. This is what you sent last week, right? Did something change?
Well, this is what I thought I sent last week,
Let me-
and it's a different amount.
I didn't change any numbers. Let me make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
Oh, okay, something.
551.
Yep,
Jen has,
All right, then I must have done something in my
989.
little 489,977.
right,
My bad. All right, so let's take a look at that. 489,977 divided by 819,999. So in reality, we've only expended 59.8% of the authorized budget for operations. Okay, but the rest of mine should be good when you go line item by line item. It's something in the total. I screwed up something when on the total. Okay. So now, if we want to go to the individual line items, so right up on line, very, very top, officers, we've only spent 82% of the budgeted amount, which is pretty much in keeping with the fact that we are, as I said, 87.5% through the fiscal year. When you come to administration costs, which includes Jennifer's full-time salary and all the office supplies, we are running at 64.6% of the authorized budget. So we spent 49,800, I round up, against the 77,000 that we budgeted. Legal expense, we're only at 10% of what we budgeted. We budgeted 8,000. We spent a little less than 800. On employee benefits, make sure this all lines up. We've spent 71% of the budgeted amount, or rounding up again, 69,800 to 98 authorized, 98,600 authorized. General government buildings, we've only spent 43% of the authorized budget, or 9,500 to 21,950 budgeted. Insurance, this makes sense. We've almost spent the entire budget. We're at 98.6%. Of the 62,591. So we've gotten more insurance payments that I know of this year. The reason why it's not there is the property damage deductible, which we haven't used. The regional association, small chump change, pretty much we've spent 100% of that. We spent 640 against the 650. Miscellaneous training, we're only about a little less than half spent that, which has been budgeted. So $935 spent, 2,000 was budgeted. Okay, here's where probably things got screwed up on my end, but not on the individual line items. Okay, so on highway and streets, the full-time staff, we have spent 53% of the budgeted amount. So we've spent 77,000 on full-time salaries against the 144,700 that we budgeted. Part-time staff, we're a little higher. We're at 78% expended against the budget, or 33,000 actual, 42,000 budgeted. On-call compensation, we are at 77% expended, so 3,000 actual against 3,900 budgeted. Overtime, which is probably going to kick in the next couple of months, we're only 38% expended against budgeted. So we've spent actually 11,455 against 30,000 budgeted.
But that includes January, February, March.
Yes, but now we have November and December coming up where we could easily run into overtime. So we're good. I think we're good on that.
Oh, very good.
Very good.
Yep.
Yep. Bonuses, we've spent 72.5% of what we budgeted for bonuses, so 2,900 against 4,000. And then highway, roads, engineering, we spent nothing, so 0% against a 1,500 budgeted. All right, so here comes the big bugaboo, is when we take a look at all the expenses we have poured into our rolling stock, so the International, the grader, the backhoe, and the Ram trucks, we're nearly fully spent. We've spent, basically 42,900 against 50,000 budgeted, so we're at 85.9% expended. So that's a little ahead of what the fiscal year run rate is. So
We just committed to spending 12,000 in tires.
yes, so we're going to go over there. Fortunately, we've got other areas of the budget that are well below. So we've got wiggle room there, but if we're sticking strictly to this,
We don't have, we're anticipating paying to have the John Deere modified for the blower,
Yep,
yep,
and that's gonna be, is that 4,000 or 5,000?
Yeah,
yeah.
Mhm.
So 42,900 plus 12,000 plus, I'm gonna just 5,000. So we're gonna see at minimum, ourselves $10,000 over budget at the end of the year for expenses that go into keeping up our trucks, our rolling stock. But we're doing so well in other areas that we'll be okay overall, I think.
yep.
All right, so now let's go down into shop supplies, fuel, repairs, maintenance, salt, sand, culverts, basins, gravel, dust control, subcontract equipment. We have spent 57% of the authorized budget, or 233,000 against the 410,000 budgeted. Street lighting, we've only spent 44% of the budgeted amount, or little over 1,000 against 2,300 budgeted. Parks and recreation, we've spent 46% of the budgeted amount, or 3,700 against 8,000 budgeted. When it comes to the bonds, the principal on the bonds, we've actually spent 15,000 on the bonds, but we only budgeted, this is on the Ram 5500, excuse me. On the Ram 5500 only, we budgeted 11,500, so I'm not quite sure how we
Is it-
miscalculated the budget, or did
you
we?
probably have to take a look at the interest portion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the interest is separate. But,
It kind of balances it out.
yeah, I think that's right, we've done that before,
Yeah,
yeah.
we did it last
Yeah,
year.
that's right, that's what
Balances
happened, okay, yep. Because if you look at the interest, the way it stands now, we've spent $142 on interest, but we budgeted $37.95. So yeah, I remember the last time we did this, we added it all up together, it was a
Yeah.
wash.
Right.
Okay, so that explains that, okay, thank you for refreshing my memory, Jennifer. On the Rhinebeck Tower, yep, we've spent everything there, but that was budgeted correctly. Same with the backhoe John Deere, we spent everything that was budgeted. And the same is true on the interest for the John Deere, but the interest on the Rhinebeck Tower, we spent 21,840 against 24,390 budgeted. But pretty much the same. Okay, so let's go over to the water budget.
If we leave that, the asphalt budget, that's covering the money we had to overspend on the budget for maintaining trucks and backhoes. We had a budget of line item for 25,000, we only
Right.
spent $236.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
but that
I'm
will,
trying to remember,
we're gonna be buying asphalt here shortly, hopefully, for Linden, that was we discussed earlier.
yeah, but depending upon what they wanna do,
Mm.
they're not gonna be buying they're not buying thousands of dollars of asphalt.
Right.
Next year, we'll be buying lots of asphalt. The asphalt line item will cover the budget for the rest of the DPW.
Okay. All right, so if we go over to the water budget, our budget was 258,000, and year-to-date through 10/15, we spent $214,729, so we're at 83.2% expended of budget, so we're pretty much in line with how much of the fiscal year has gone by. And if you take a look at the combined operations, highway and water, the total budget was $1,078,000. We have spent 704, 706, 700,000, 706. So that constitutes, of the combined budgets, we have spent 65.4% year-to-date of the combined budget. And again, we're 87.5% of the way through the year.
So we only spent 0.9% of the asphalt budget, we only spent, let's see, what's gravel? 52.7% of the gravel budget,
Yep,
but we could be laying down a lot of gravel in the next few weeks,
Correct.
right.
Mm-hmm.
so we have to watch that one.
We do, especially knowing that our equipment repairs and maintenance and all that could be at minimum 10,000 over what we budgeted. Could be, that could go up, that could even double maybe.
Now, let's talk about these line items and the reimbursement money that we've already received from FEMA. How should we think about that? On the manifests, there's a running tabulation of FEMA balance, and it says $120,829.43.
That is correct.
That's including the $41,000 for the Grissom Engineering, which I put in its own category. That's clearly earmarked, but the rest of that,
Yep.
which would be roughly $80,000.
Yeah.
That's $80,000 cash in the bank, that's not in the spreadsheets when we're looking at this.
Correct.
So, for the rest of this year, should we make all our decisions on what we do for the rest of the year based on what the line item of the operating budget is, or do you wanna use reimbursed money in expenditures for the rest of this year? Did I ask that clearly enough? Did you get an idea? what it
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
In other words, do we
We have this
align
pot of money
everything with
over
the budget?
here that's not in the operating budget, that got reimbursed. It's unusual because it was a FEMA disaster that we got reimbursed for.
Right.
Should we think of it that we're just holding that in the bank to be spent next year? And what we do this year is all based on what we have in the operating budget? Or does it matter to you? How do you keep it straight in your own head?
Well,
How do you wanna keep it straight?
how do I wanna keep it straight? Well, again, going back to the operating budget, since
How do you think about it?
well, we're
I
just,
think we should
we've
keep going.
only gone through 60%
Right.
of the operating budget so far. So maybe as an exercise in discipline, we just stick with the budget and figure out how we're gonna use that found money, that wonderful found money on the big projects next year.
So, here's a scenario is that we walk a fine line with the operating budget to not have it go over.
Right.
Even though we could use the FEMA reimbursements to balance the budget, we're not gonna do that. And when we review this budget in January, at the budget hearings, they'd be looking at line items like asphalt for $25,000 and we only spent a few thousand of it. We're gonna explain that we didn't do it even though we had this line item fat at the end of the year, and we had the reimbursement money. We just couldn't get contractors to come out and do it.
Yeah, that's the explanation. We wanted contractors to come out and,
And they told us everybody waits to the end of their budget cycle to do the asphalt, to make sure they have the money. So everybody shows up in the fall looking for them to do it at the same time. That's the nature of their business. That's their dilemma. And the crack sealing guy
yeah,
says you don't want to plan to do it in the spring because you can't do it in the rain. So they don't want you to do it in the spring, and the rest of the contractors don't want you to do it in the fall because everybody wants to do it in the fall. So you gotta plan summer.
okay. So paving for next summer and crack sealing in the fall?
Well, we need to talk about the timing on preserving Blendon. Blendon's in a state that crack sealing and chip sealing are a perfect time for that now. We'll be holding on to a road for many more years if we did it now, like we did Tideway's Drive back in 2012. So, I think we can decide that we definitely want to get the crack sealing done in 2026. And it's a matter of whether you want to get the chip sealing done in 2026 also. And one has to happen before the other. And now you're getting two companies to try to schedule you at the sweet times.
All right, well, let me ask a stupid question. Going back to this nice found money, and whether we use some of it this year or all of it next year. Why can't some of that be applied to the Linden project, the crack in the chip?
You could at any time. The 17,000 to crack seal,
Yeah.
when I saw that number, I thought, that really should be a warrant article, and I should ask the other two
Right.
commissioners whether they think it should be a warrant article or not. No matter how you fund it. Should the voters get to decide whether that road gets crack sealed for
I see what you're saying.
17,000?
So it's yeah, getting the governing body legislative body to make the ultimate decision.
And they would need to know what the chip sealing cost would be. Crack sealing is gonna prolong the life of it. Chip sealing on top of that prolongs it even more.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I could get Allstate to give us a quote on chip sealing it this year and tell them that most likely we're not doing it until next year. If you want to.
Blendon is a FEMA road, right?
For ditching. And for the gravel portion.
Mm-hmm.
Not the asphalt portion.
Yes, but if we know how much we have received from FEMA for Blendon, if it covers the chip sealing, then
FEMA will reimburse for chip sealing.
no. How much
Chip sealing.
money have we've already received some money for Blendon from
We haven't
FEMA?
applied.
Oh, we haven't applied yet.
No,
Okay.
they just did the gravel, they ditched Blendon on the gravel portion that goes into West Bergamo, and they put gravel down. So that is yet to be applied for.
Okay.
That'll be applied for with this next request for reimbursement.
Okay.
So where are we going with that anyway?
Well, because if there's money that we have already received for a specific road, and we have something that we need done on that road, we should be using that money.
We still can. Are
You
you saying
know?
use
Yeah.
it this year? We thinking?
Well, if we'd already had, 17,000 from Blendon, or however much we're gonna be getting from Blendon, then we could say, okay, well, realistically, the budget's only gonna use a couple thousand because we're gonna use the FEMA Blinden money. You know, I don't know how we haven't actually discussed how we want to
No.
set up how we're gonna expend the FEMA money.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't really discussed that, you
This is the
know?
first time we've touched on it.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me point out one other thing on it. In this massive spreadsheet that goes for the reimbursement, it doesn't break down which roads got worked on that day by this equipment and how much of the gravel was spent on this road. Matter of fact, I was almost kinda, there are notes, handwritten notes starting to appear on the invoices that say, actually it said Blinden, that this
Yeah,
gravel.
like what amount supplied.
Yeah, I kinda stopped on that and said, oof.
Yeah.
That has to go to FEMA,
Well, that's all in a
as you gave it
hold.
to me.
Yeah,
Is that handwriting on the invoice now? We don't have a copy of that invoice that doesn't have that writing on it?
the invoice doesn't have the, so what I do is when Jeff receives those tickets, when he gets gravel, he indicates what portions are going. I in turn take that and apply it handwritten on the invoice so you can see the charges. So there's like 25 plus slips for each invoice. And they're all together.
So the question was, do we have a copy of the invoice that doesn't have the handwriting on it?
Yeah, we do, because what I scan in is after I do it, but the original invoice that comes in has no handwriting on it.
Good, alright. So, what I was getting at is that in the request to FEMA, there's no information other than what this handwriting has on the invoice as to which road it went to.
Okay,
Otherwise, FEMA's not requesting that level of detail of
I see.
which road you were on. It just wants to know the day, every day that they worked. They have to compare that to their time card, were they at work that day?
Yeah,
And
Right.
which vehicle, which piece of equipment were they using for the portion of the day? It can be divided, they did 4 hours on this piece, 3 hours on this one, and 1 hour on this one. But nowhere does it say they were working on this road that day with this equipment for this amount of time,
Okay.
using this materials. Other than the handwriting that's on,
yeah, for the amount of material.
for the amount of material that goes on.
yes, and where it went,
Right,
but not what day it went.
Yeah,
And I
right,
don't know whether the handwriting is gonna confuse things, that's why I brought it up, that's why I need to know.
I see.
But that's giving you a little detail
Yeah.
into it, is that, when you were thinking along the lines, well, did we get $17,000 for Blendon?
right.
Well, the accounting that
It's,
they want
it's
doesn't
not,
tell you.
it doesn't tell
you
us that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
Right.
We know. But the FEMA money doesn't
Right.
track that.
cause the FEMA money is an award. It's expendable. Kinda like insurance,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mhm.
So it's expendable. So if there are specific things, we can either set up some warrant articles for next year for some of this money, or, you know, it's like I said, it's a conversation we haven't had yet as far as how we want to distribute and account for this money.
So, along those lines, let's go back to Blendon. When we were talking about crack sealing at 17,000, that even if we had the money, we decide whether we want it to be a warrant article or not.
Right.
What do you think about that? If you already had the 17,000 and you had a contractor ready to do it,
We could do it.
you would say do it without bringing it to warrant, or?
We could.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't.
Yes.
Would you?
Um,
Would you do that as a commissioner?
I wouldn't have a problem with it. I would think we could do that.
Yeah, I'm of that opinion too, just because it's an asphalted road. And the more you let it slide, the worse it's gonna get. It's money we didn't have or know about at the beginning of the year. And yet we knew at the beginning of the year that Blinden was a future problem or future something that needed to be worked on.
Right.
I don't know if the amount of time left is gonna allow us to do it, but the way I've been thinking and telling you guys is that I'm trying to parlay the money that we get as reimbursements back and how many rounds I could actually do that before it gets diminished down to
Yep.
inconsequential. So if we spent 17,000 on crack sealing, say we decided right now to tell that vendor, crack seal Blendon, we'll commit to 17,000. That's 17,000 that we may be using out of the FEMA money to do it, that we can't parlay back again.
Right,
Right.
That's not FEMA reimbursable.
Right.
So just keep that in mind.
yeah.
This is the game,
How much,
Yeah.
where are all the
Well,
pieces.
you're thinking correctly.
realistically, there's not a whole, as we fix any of these roads, and we get FEMA reimbursement, like Appinville, we did all the ditching. So we're expecting money to come in for that because that's a FEMA setup. Well, then we're gonna have that money, Appinville doesn't need that money.
No,
So we're gonna be using that money on some other some other road project.
if it gets reimbursed this winter.
Yeah, if
Yes.
it get, when it gets reimbursed, you know,
Right,
or
it's
if it
positive.
if it gets reimbursed, you know?
I say if.
You know, so it's a matter of how much we've already got, which is over 40, how much have we already gotten?
From
He's
FEMA?
looking at 80,000.
80,000.
80,000,
For roads,
You know?
not counting the 41 for engineering.
Right.
Correct.
Listen,
right. Right, so we already have 80,000 for roads. Is there a specific something, like, you can go for something that has been very long-standing as far as was supposed to get done over 10 years ago? Are we thinking Idleways Drive will become a major project and we will repave, as in chew it up, start at the beginning, reset the road bed, fix it completely? Or, you know, is there a big project like that we would want this money for? And like I said, that's the stuff that we haven't really delved into yet, as far as what we wanna do as a board, or how much we wanna, you know, set up with this money.
Let me try this one on again. Okay, so you get the idea of parlaying the money back in. We have a deadline of August 31st to get the FEMA projects done.
Mhm.
To get reimbursed for them.
Right,
So, we wanna get as much done as we can, get the reimbursements in, because if FEMA holds together and the country holds together, there's a chance that we'll get a FEMA reimbursement money to us after the 31st of August
Yes,
for projects that were completed before the 31st of August. The way I'm thinking about it is, that doesn't mean that we stop doing FEMA damaged roads with FEMA reimbursed money that we get next year, parlaying it back in. That we continue to fix the roads that were damaged by the FEMA spec from 2023
Right.
after the deadline, using the FEMA reimbursed money. I'm not bringing in projects that should have been done by other commissioners 10 years ago into this at all.
okay,
I'm trying to stretch the FEMA money out way past the deadline of getting it done, so that all of the roads that were supposed to get gravel and ditched by the FEMA help do get it, even after the deadline.
Mhm.
By managing the money in reimbursements requests into next year, so that we're continuing to get them as long as FEMA holds together.
right.
Did I say that well
Yes.
enough? That-
Yes, you did.
See
and
that
Yeah.
dynamic?
And that
Is
makes-
that I don't wanna start spending FEMA reimbursement money on non-FEMA stuff because we're not gonna get anything back from it
Right.
that I intend on spending into 2027.
but most of the roads, I guess this is just a different kind of thought process, the roads, when we have fixed the culverts, when we have fixed the ditching, it's done.
It's never done.
No, it's not ever done, and you always have to continue to work on it. It's not a one and done. It's never a one and done, on fixing a road. But the majority of the FEMA money that let's just say we're gonna have FEMA money coming in next year, for any of the projects that we're still working on. Then that road will have already been ditched.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna need to spend the money on that road. So therefore, you gotta think of the FEMA money as where else does it need to get done, unless we just wanna continue to say it's gonna be until we have the entire all the roads in the district, properly ditched and gravelled. We're not gonna do anything with the FEMA money, that's what we're gonna allocate it for. And like I said, those are the conversations that we haven't really delved into as far as the thought processes of what are we going to do with this reimbursement money, you know?
And also, there's another factor I think we need to look at. I mean, which roads pose the most hazards to our plows? Like, is Blinden really, is that a plow killer road? If it is, maybe we need to chip seal it, start working on it right away. But if not, then maybe that's not a high priority at this moment.
There's two things, if you wanna talk about Blendon for a second. There is a plow killer
Yes.
that they wanted to address right now, which is what we talked about and actually voted to
Right.
get it going. That patch,
Grinding.
that's Blendon. It needs to be crack sealed, it needs to have that old water patch
Correct.
Right,
ground or something to it to stop it from catching the plows.
right.
We started by having the DPW tell us the priority of which roads. The learning experience was, how much did we actually get done this year with the ability to get a loan if we believed that FEMA was going? We didn't know what FEMA was doing until recent months.
Correct.
The whole summer construction period, we couldn't do it because we didn't know whether FEMA was gonna exist next
Right.
month.
True.
That was that dilemma, that's why we didn't spend the asphalt budget.
Right, and that's why we didn't, if we were going to spend all of the asphalt budget, we might have gotten into projects where we would have taken out that loan.
Right.
That we were authorized to take, that we didn't take because we just weren't sure if the reimbursement money was gonna be coming through to pay that loan.
So here's one more for you. So this year, not knowing what FEMA was doing until maybe August, we didn't get a whole lot done. We got Appleton Way done, and we didn't know how long that was gonna take, because the village had never used the grader to ditch the entire road.
Right.
The problem was the trucking, that it was only a six-wheeler that could be used with our backhoe.
Mm-hmm.
Different story with a front-end loader or a excavator that swings around and puts it right into a 10-wheeler. That's what we learned, how fast
They can do it.
Bergdorf got done
Right.
versus us with one international truck, one backhoe, and the grader. We now know that we're not gonna have the grader work with our John Deere and our six-wheeler by itself. We're gonna have a loader probably and multiple trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna require a lot more contractor work to get much more done next year that we didn't do this year because of the cash flow situation. The priority is still gonna be set by the DPW. We still have the other two roads that they listed in the first three, which is why I'm proposing that Heath put the culverts in, so Hotwell's done.
And that was West Bergamo?
West Bergamo's the other one. Now,
They did
the rock,
the rock has already been done, so.
that's not FEMA. That's not
right.
reimbursable, but it went a long way to help getting that ditching done.
Right,
Yes.
right.
And we haven't decided whether that's a greater ditching job all the way down through Little Shore, or that's contract or a mix. We haven't even had that discussion ourselves or with
Right,
the crew.
right,
But that's stuff that we have to plan out this winter, and if we decide the way to, how much contracting we're gonna use, that we line them up and have that all
Ready to
scheduled
go.
with them,
Yep.
contracted. So,
Well, the more we can use contractors that can do it quickly, that frees up our crews to do stuff that they can do efficiently with the equipment we have.
the faster we eat the cash, the faster we have to get the reimbursements
Yeah,
done.
right.
Which is gonna
Right.
be done
That's
differently
key.
with you and Jeff doing it as it's happening,
Yeah,
not me figuring it out a year later,
right.
which is difficult. So,
And greatly appreciated
that, well,
that you've taken the time to do that.
so we get the picture painted as to what this winter's gonna look like for us, and
Right.
how much of this discussion we're gonna have to
Right.
have, right? Okay.
Right, cause a
Enough on
lot of
that
it,
for
a
now?
lot of it's gonna set, budgets, it's gonna set everything
Well,
for next
other
year.
than, did we make a decision just not to do Blendon, or go ahead with
Oh.
Blendon, or make it a warrant article? We didn't really come up with I saw a decision on that. My question is, I think what you're saying is the one area that Blendon, that really is troublesome for the plows is what we authorize them to spend money and work on.
Yep.
Not the asphalted portion, it's the,
Right, the
Right.
chip sealing, crack sealing is to prolong the life of the paved road.
right, the paved road, yep.
It's not a plow eating one, and it's not FEMA reimbursable.
Okay,
So it's a matter, you could make a motion right now to tell the contractor that proposed 17,000 to crack seal Linden. And you're doing it knowing that the DPW wants to fix, they haven't decided how they're gonna fix the plow eating
portion.
problem.
Mhm.
And I think you don't want the crack sealer to come in until that's done.
right.
So let's just hold on it. Yeah, that being the case, I'm not gonna make a motion to go ahead with the crack sealing project right now.
Okay. How do you think about that?
I'm more concerned about what can we do to repair those roads that otherwise would,
Hurt the plows?
yes.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
The way I'm thinking about it.
And I think of it as both ways.
Well,
Is you have to focus right now on making sure anything that's gonna hurt the plows is gonna get fixed.
Mhm.
But you also have to be thinking, moving forward, that we need to preserve as much good pavement that we have, for as long as we can, before you have to do a full redo, because doing a full redo is the absolute most possible expensive way to fix a paved road.
Okay, I can agree with that, but that whole issue is only just now being broached upon at this meeting. And as Mark said, I think we have to put a lot more thought and time into it before we come up with a decision with the input of the DPW.
So can I ask a little bit about the 2025 warrant articles and what we've spent? And
Yeah, I've done a
if you're gonna utilize
little analysis on that too,
what's left
percentage
over,
wise.
yeah.
So like the
So the
warrant
first one
article,
was for the loan, you know
Yeah.
that,
Right,
we didn't do anything there.
right? So the warrant article 5, which is the roads and ditches, we
No.
haven't,
Nothing spent, 6,000, nothing
Yeah.
spent.
yeah,
Then the Grissom Culvert Engineering, nothing spent, but we have money for that from FEMA. IT services, yeah, we're spending there,
Yeah.
copier, yep.
yeah,
well, can we go back to the roads and ditches?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That 6,000, wasn't that the rock crack?
Yeah, that was the,
We just spent it.
ledge hammer,
All right, so-
ledge hammering, you're right.
Okay, so we need to,
Yeah, that just needs to be updated with whatever we spent on Black Rock?
Black Dog.
Black Dog,
okay,
Okay.
to just meet that 6,000? Is that what you mean?
I think the invoice was 54,
yeah.
we
Yeah.
just approved.
So that's what you want to apply to the Black Dog
Mhm.
invoice?
But here's the interesting one, WA09, gravel and road work, 13,000, that was what we asked the voters to, what was not spent in 2024, to spend
Correct.
in 2025,
Correct,
of which we spent 6,750 so we're a little over halfway through that particular
Right,
warrant item, line item, and then if we go back to the regular operating budget, under gravel, again, a little over 50%, so difference, there's 9,400, 9,454, plus if you come down here, it's about 6,000. We have roughly 14,000 we can still spend on gravel. Yeah, we have 6250 left in the warrant article line item for gravel, and we've got 10,546. So, excuse me, we got $16,800 we can still spend on gravel.
Or we can apply purchases we've already made of gravel to this,
right,
and move it out of the operating budget.
Mm-hmm.
right.
That's a choice we can make.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if the total between the two, that's.
Yep.
Do you wanna wait till later in the fiscal year to decide things like that?
Well, I thought we still need to lay down more gravel right now.
Yep,
We do.
You wanna start applying gravel purchases to the warrant article? Is that what you're thinking?
Sure, absolutely. Let's use it up.
Carry forward? You
I
can't do
would-
that with the operating budget,
You
can
can't
do
do
it
that with the operating budget, but you can with a warrant article.
right.
Which
So
we've done with this already.
therefore, I would say
The other
we
way.
would continue using the budget,
Right,
and then we can
That's why
carry
I say,
forward
do you wanna
the
wait,
warrant
you wanna wait to
article.
see how your purchases go? And make the
Yes.
decision later.
I got it. So in
But
other words, saying,
before
if we don't
December
expend all the warrant article this year, we can carry it forward into the
Yes.
next
Correct.
fiscal year.
You
Okay.
can't do that with the
You can't
line
do that with
items.
the operating budget.
Okay, so then, now that I know that,
Yeah. And
again, going back to, we still have $9,454 left in the operating budget for gravel. So, yeah, let's start.
right, start with that, and then we'll hit the warrant article for what we need, and
But-
definitely everything from Black Dog
yeah,
for the ledge remover should go to warrant article 5.
gotcha.
So let me ask a question.
The
But you-
the 6,000.
But you don't wanna make, the reason I'm saying hold off on making the decision is that the other dynamic is that because of the equipment repairs being so high against that line item,
Yeah.
you don't wanna start limiting yourself on what you're doing with the line items at this point if you don't have to. In other words, saying you're not gonna use the warrant article because you want to use that line item of it, but then later you see what all the line items have been doing and you wish you didn't do that.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
you don't have to make the decision today, so
No.
don't. Just don't forget it.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
No.
don't forget it.
No,
Okay.
I
All
get
right.
it.
Now, let me just ask a
We'll
question.
just bring it up again.
Right.
Nancy,
Again.
if,
Yes.
if Black Dog, if the total job cost us $5,400, and we had 6,000 budgeted for it, that's
Uh-huh.
$600 additional dollars, what can we do with that money? Can we put it in somewhere else for use?
Carry
can carry it
forward, or
over.
it could be put into the unassigned fund balance,
Right,
Right.
Okay,
or it could be used to offset taxes, but
right.
it wouldn't be worth it.
all right, so basically, logically, we carry that forward to the work that we want Black Dog to do next year, even though it's pretty minor bucks, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
I was gonna say, something that minor, I just
I
let it
know.
go.
Yeah,
Into the unassigned fund balance, and then you're not,
Right,
Okay, all right.
right, and, you mentioned the Grissom culvert as far as not spending any money on that 15,000, but we're already working with Nick
correct.
to get that stuff set, so
Right.
we could get invoices for the arch culvert engineering still this year.
I hope we do.
So, and I'm hoping we do too. So that right now hasn't been spent, but it's already been sent to the engineer, so it's quite possible that it will get spent this year.
Right, but that's gonna come out of the warrant article.
Correct.
Yes.
And then we still have the question as to, well, what about the money FEMA gave us for the same purpose?
That money should be held until we know for sure what's gonna happen with FEMA. And when we have a bid package for the arch culvert, because we could potentially use that 43,000,
One.
Yeah,
41,000.
yeah.
Toward the
If-
actual,
If FEMA will pay for some of the excavation
Not out of that,
for a culvert,
not
They-
out of that.
they won't do it on,
The
no.
only thing that's paying for is architecture and engineering.
I said if FEMA will pay when we send in the arch culvert and get it approved from DES.
Yeah,
And if FEMA says, okay, they're not gonna pay for the culvert, we know that. But if FEMA pays for some of the excavation, that would kinda, with that and the 41,000, we could have a good amount of money towards the replace of putting in that arch culvert.
that whole.
Cause
Lost
we
me a little
still
bit.
know it's a lot of money.
Okay, so, I think you started by saying we have a warrant article that we could pay the engineering for the Grissom culvert out of, a
Right.
warrant article.
Yes.
25,000, yeah?
And we have the FEMA money, and were you saying that you had a reason for wanting to hit the warrant article
No.
for engineering fees for the Grissom culvert first?
No, I don't
She
wanna,
said hold it.
I wanna hold it.
Okay, so the first invoice we get from Nick for engineering the Grissom culvert,
Mm-hmm.
that comes out of the $41,000
The FEMA money, okay, all right,
We're agreeing to that,
that makes sense, yeah,
Okay.
cause that's the way I would
Or
wanna
the
do it.
warrant article.
that makes sense, because
No, we're deciding not to use the warrant article.
Right, we'll use the FEMA money for engineering.
I don't think we're gonna use anywhere near the $41,000 for
For
everything,
engineering.
permitting,
Really?
engineering.
Yeah.
I don't think we will either.
yeah,
We'll only come near that if DES says they won't let us modify the existing drawing to turn it into an arch culvert. That they want Nick to start from scratch and do a whole environmental redesign. Then we're gonna use the 41, we may have to use some of the warrant article. But if they let us modify with the existing environment
Mm-hmm.
as it is in the currently permitted design, then
I don't think we'll get anywhere near that
we'll be-
amount.
we'll be refunding money back to FEMA, which may be the first time in the history of FEMA.
I don't think it works that way.
I think it does.
Do
Yeah?
you?
Yes, sure it does. This
Well, we'll have to see.
detailed quarterly reports I have to do is keeping track of all this, and everything I do, I have to sign something saying, I understand that we could be a full audit for everything that we do.
Right.
So, there's no way that they let you spend $27,000 on designing Grissom culvert and keep the balance at 41. I don't think so. I'm not planning that way.
Or,
no, I think you gotta plan that way,
You're
but
right.
it's still unusual, the fact that FEMA usually does the 75% reimbursement, but this one was cash in advance, which is weird,
Which we didn't ask for.
yes.
right,
So
which is why we wanna,
please plan on refunding the money to FEMA that you don't use in the design.
All right, well, let's get as much interest off it
Think
as
that
possible.
Think deeply. Where are we? 11:24.
Can we move on? Signature items?
Yep, correct.
Vacation request. Denied. Next. One day, a Monday.
It's the day before the holiday.
I'll make a motion, we approve this request for this vacation day.
Which holiday?
Second.
Which holiday is that? Thanksgiving?
no. Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday.
Okay, right, that's,
It's Veterans Day.
Veterans Day, yeah, I should know that, yeah.
Needs a second?
I said second.
Okay,
Thank you.
Aye.
all in favor? How do
Aye.
you vote? 3-0 on approving this.
Do we all sign?
No, 2.
Two.
Pass it to Nancy. And next we have.
The letter.
Did we skip over
What?
correspondence? No, it's not right, we haven't
That's
hit
the
it yet.
next
That's the
one
next
down.
one after.
So next one is a 42 Oak Ridge Road.
Yep, the letter notifying him of
Mm-hmm.
paving action without a permit.
I'll make a motion that we discuss and approve this letter to the owner of 42 Oak Ridge Road,
Second.
or the resident of 42 Oak Ridge Road. This was paving
Paving without a permit.
So did we get a copy of this?
The letter?
Yeah.
No, I can send it to you after you sign it.
It'd be good to get these.
It's the standard letter that
Yeah,
did up for it.
everything looks fine to me.
What-
So we made a motion?
It's
Nancy
motion
second.
seconded, and the vote is
Aye.
Aye.
3-0. Why don't you two sign that?
Thank you.
I'll move on to the next thing, which is correspondence
Mm-hmm.
Regarding a application by a company called Vertex Tower out of Rhode Island to build a tower on Oak Hill.
Well, yeah, it's that whole,
Oh, did Vertex actually send us?
No.
No.
No,
A resident.
a resident, I saw that.
Yep.
Okay.
So, they were in the balloon and you went up to look at it just before you left on vacation?
Oh, yeah, it was like a week before, I got pictures, yeah, you could see it easily from my backyard.
But then we had a meeting that you were not at, and
Mhm.
then we got this correspondence, so now we discuss it for the first time at this meeting. What do you have, anybody have issues, anything you'd like to question? What do
Well-
you wanna do with this, if anything?
It's a request for the commissioners to get involved,
correct.
and it's outside the district, so therefore it's not in our realm.
Yeah, but I'm concerned about the fact that they want to build an extension off of a road that we do own. And
Right,
we
and-
should know a
yeah.
little bit more about that. We don't have to make an opinion like we oppose it or endorse it or whatever, but I think we need to know what the impact is on us and what,
Okay, so we have surveyed maps that have always had these drawings of roads that were never built. They
Mhm.
call them paper roads. Well, they only appear on this paper. And there are a couple of them there's one off Oak Ridge Road, there's one off of either Presidential or Clausen, a short way down the hill. There's another one that goes to the border of Idlewild, to the political border of Idlewild into the. So, do we want to make a motion? Should we focus this on making a motion that we contact? I'm gonna put this in so we can discuss it. I'll make a motion that we contact the village's council for an opinion on whether anybody can open up this paper road. What is the commission's responsibility when we learn that somebody wants to open up a paper road,
yes.
claiming that it's part of a class 5 existing road? Is that the question? I
Yeah,
guess the second decides whether it's, the conversation's in the right direction.
I
'Cause I'm
think,
not even sure of that yet.
I think so, because
We
unlike.
gonna second it or not?
Second.
Okay. You know, I've seen some of these, like there's one off of East Bergamo, which clearly was meant to be like a class 6 road one time, but it's just a trail now. There's one off of Adelboden, I think, you even had a name for it.
Yeah,
Zermatt?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that was
There's
it.
two of them.
there's
But-
two of them.
But when
over
I was
there.
up at the top of Oak Ridge talking to you on the.
Those are class 6 roads, those are
Those are
different.
class 6
Okay.
roads.
They're named roads.
Right, okay. But the point is, right now, they're just trails. They're not even roads,
They're
they're
grown in,
trails.
yes. I've
Okay.
kept them open so you can walk on them.
Yes, okay. But when you go up to Oak Ridge and look at where this paper road, there's nothing.
It was never anything, it was never used by.
Nothing, never used, it was not even a trail. And it seems to me that the private properties are really jam-packed up to it. I don't know, because I don't know where the boundaries, so yeah, I think we need to know what, can they do this?
Let me throw this into it. Part of my thinking of this is, do we need to pay our attorney to tell us what rights we have? What rights other people have to that? Because that's what it really is.
Yeah.
Is a company in Rhode Island is claiming they have rights to that road.
Right.
And we've had one person question us on that. And we may have had questions ourselves, we're discussing it for the first time. Just for a second, would it be the town's planning board attorney that should tell us the opinion on that? Because that's in their realm.
It's in their realm and they're the ones that are working on the application. It's not in the district.
Do you want to spend money on our attorney because our attorney would be looking at this from our perspective, representing us? Or do you want to save the money and have the town's planning board render the opinion, who may not be looking at it the same way our attorney would look at it?
I think we start
Or
with
is
that
it,
one
or the
first.
facts are the facts, that this is the law?
Well, I would hope the facts are the facts and this is the law. But being familiar, maybe
You want to use our attorney?
we'd be better off with ours.
So the motion is that we ask our attorney. So we'll focus our discussion now on that.
Does it really have to be an either or? Can't we go both? Find out what Madison Planning Board is thinking, but then also get an opinion that represents our best interests?
On no map that I've ever seen was that labeled Oak Ridge Road.
No.
That piece that they want to turn into a road.
And that piece that they're trying to turn into a road is actually beyond the edge of Oak Ridge Road, because Oak Ridge Road continues to the right,
Yes.
and the road that they're saying or listing as Oak Ridge Road is the paper road on the far side of the Cabana area. So that's actually Presidential View.
Oh,
It's not even Oak Ridge Road. So I question where they even can be saying it's Oak Ridge Road, because it's not on or directly off Oak Ridge Road.
I'm not sure that the paper road touches Presidential View. I think it comes in and touches.
It does touch Oak Ridge,
Oak Ridge.
but it's kind of like a
But your
spur.
point is, who gets to decide that a road goes in two different directions
Right.
with the same name?
Right.
Here's one for you. Another thing to keep in mind is there are properties in Idleways that Idleways owns that are drawn in ways similar to that paper road that this company in Rhode Island is claiming is Oak Ridge Road for
right.
their purposes, that are not roads. And the example I'm using is the bridle path, which is clearly on the tax maps.
Mm-hmm.
Idleways owns them,
Mm-hmm.
and they are not roads.
Correct.
So that would be what I would want our attorney to,
To tell us is whether this paper road, is it actually a developable road by some company in Rhode Island? Or is it kind of, or is it not? That's really, it's a yes or no kind of, can they develop it or not?
And does that paper road actually encroach upon our owned property? It's very close to the Cabana.
It's outside the boundary of the Cabana.
That's what I thought, but I'm just double
it's
checking.
not, no. That's not, that's very clear that it's not part of that lot
Right.
that the cabanas on, that the tower's on.
Okay, so then going a little bit further toward presidential, then you start reaching private property. So there really was always a space there that was.
Uh-huh.
Now, when Veraki put his water line to that house and bermed it because it's ledge, that they couldn't put it down below the frost line, so he bermed it up and you can clearly see the berm.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Did Veraki encroach on that paper road boundary with that berm? I think
I think he did.
That's possible.
this thing all has to be surveyed. So do we
Yeah.
have,
That wouldn't be on us.
no,
And it's pretty steep. I'm not sure how they're thinking they're gonna get equipment down there. From the picture of that Woody took from his backyard, of the balloon, when you look at where the current towers are and the lodge, and it's far to the right is where that picture shows where the balloon was. Which would mean they're basically gonna be going all the way across from the very top, all the way down to where they're gonna be building. I would think it would be easier for them to get in off.
I don't know,
Olson's side.
Mark and I actually, we both visited the people who were there with a big balloon right there, and it is downhill, but it's not really that steep. It's kind of bushwhacked, some
it's a
of it.
33-foot drop from the beginning of the paper road to where that tower is.
Okay,
Difference in elevation is 33 feet. I don't know the length of the distance the road is gonna go to get there, but their design is very concerned about the water that's gonna be running down from Oak Ridge Road, down the paper road, down the road they build onto
mm-hmm,
to extend it to the site. And it happens to be a wetlands there, a natural wetland
Yes, which
at
is
1,200 feet elevation. But back to our focus is what right does Vertex have to claim that this is a road that they can build on?
right, that they can use.
Yeah,
That's our question.
That's the real question.
And he gives that there's an urgency on this because of the next ZBA meeting coming up.
His urgency doesn't necessarily mean our urgency.
Right,
He's been told before that he can't run a New Hampshire municipality from Facebook.
Well, I think that's why he sent the actual correspondence
yes,
to
he
the,
did do
to the
that.
commissioners this time.
correct.
But another thing,
But he didn't attend the hearings and he hasn't said that he's written anything to the planning board, the ZBA, or
Correct.
this company.
Correct.
He's only talking to us.
Right,
He wishes to run this place by remote control.
Yeah, well,
trying to find that paper map, can't find it here. And then the other issue, not for discussion now, but if they do have the right to do it, then we need to, well, there's gonna be a big impact on our road, because where's the construction machinery gonna come from? Up our roads.
Well, it's a 101-foot monopole. I don't know whether that comes in sections, but I'm trying to imagine two 50-foot lengths coming up through the S-turn.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of vehicle is
that's.
trying to get 250, or a monopole suggested it could be one.
I was more concerned about the equipment that's gonna make that road, clear out that space to, do the site work to create the road down to where the pole will be planted.
Well, they may or may not need an excavator. They could easily trailer a bulldozer up there.
Mm-hmm,
So,
And then it would become sort of the equivalent of what we call a driveway permit. for
no.
no,
No, they're claiming they're.
No, it's a road.
They're claiming they have rights to open up
A road.
a road.
right,
Yeah.
That's our question.
Yeah.
Do they? Do you
Yeah.
wanna do this by a video conference with the attorney? How much time do we have before their next meeting? Cause they had a hearing, a joint hearing between the ZBA and the
Yeah.
planning board.
Right,
And both the ZBA and the planning board voted to continue the hearing to the next meeting, so no votes were taken other than the hearing continues.
Uh-huh.
And the idea is that they get to do the preliminary explanation, and everybody gets to see that and show up at the next hearing if they had concerns.
So we gotta figure, when's that next ZBA meeting?
The planning board meets the first Wednesday of the month, which would be November 5th.
So that'd be the day after our next meeting, 2 weeks from tomorrow.
So it sounds like we'd have to talk to the attorney and give her time to answer,
Mm-hmm.
unless you did it real time. So do you wanna schedule a video with the attorney for next Tuesday or
We're gonna
another
meet-
day?
We already agreed we're gonna meet next Tuesday for, what was the other thing we're gonna talk with the FEMA people.
FEMA.
Isn't that Holly?
Yeah.
Holly.
Two
Yeah.
video conferences
Yeah,
next
we might as
week
well
after
just
the
do
meeting?
two
Yeah.
video conferences next, a week
28th.
from today.
So the motion was to discuss this with the village attorney to see what rights we had to this paper road.
right.
It was seconded.
And so now we vote to do it with a
Mhm.
meeting on the 28th
Yep.
by video?
Yeah.
3-0 on voting that. At 11:41, there's no public appearance or comments, there's no non-agenda items. So at 11:42, I'll make a motion that we recess this meeting and go into non-public session with a roll call vote. How do you vote? I'll make a motion, we go into a non-public session under the RSA to protect the reputation of a vendor. Roll call, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Wood votes aye and I vote aye. 3-0, we go into non-public session, and then we're gonna adjourn and continue the non-public session at the office
Yeah.
after we call Jeff.
Right.
Thank you, Carol.